Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever saw. It's right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right about
I don't think I've ever said this before.
We're about to see.
All right, we are officially live, and hopefully you're on time, folks. We've been waiting for you this entire time in the room. Where are you?
Yeah,
where are you?
Wake
Where,
up.
where you been, huh?
It's 9 o'clock.
Okay, so first of all, listen, breaking news. I had no idea tree planters made $7 million a year not doing anything. Did you know that's maybe the highest paying job for the least amount of work you do?
Tree planters?
There's this guy named Kawhi Leonard who gets paid $7 million a year, allegedly, to plant trees that he never plants. So if anybody ever offers a job like that, you may want to consider it. We're going to talk about that story. Putin invites Zelenskyy to have a meeting in Russia. It's like, why don't we have this meeting in Russia? And Zelenskyy is like, is this a or no? Who knows what's going to be happening there? I got a couple people I got to give a shout out to. One of them is the greatest pastor in the world, and the other one is somebody I lost to in domino 2 games in a row. Me and Tikron were flabbergasted. It's not a comfortable thing for me to do. But I told him, I said, I'm going to give you a shout out on the podcast because of how embarrassing this is. But we will do it. This is tough for me to do. When was this game? It's happened on Monday, on Labor Day. Okay, I really don't want to talk about it too long, but I'm going to give a little bit of intel into it. Okay, America's population set to shrink for the first time ever. Folks, if you had to choose between watching this podcast and making babies, I'm okay with you going and making babies because we need some babies to be made. And Tom, please turn off your 58 alarms. Federal judge rules against Trump's administration funding cuts to Harvard. Unemployed workers outnumber available job cuts for the first time since 2021. Trump to host tech CEOs. These are a bunch of rich guys for the first event in newly renovated Rose Garden. Delusional CNN host denies polls showing Americans approve of Trump's crime crackdown. Dear Abby, okay? Could be the person's name. Who knows? President Trump praises military strike on Venezuelan drug boat. He's looking to ban, you ready for this one? This should be an easy one. Trump looking to ban transgender people from having a gun and declaring them mentally ill.
Good.
It's going to upset a lot of people, but it's a good move. I think it's a good move. Trump asked Supreme Court to greenlight tariffs. Florida Surgeon General announces, first state, by the way, to consider this, plans to end vaccine mandates in schools. The first state to pull this off. By the way, Rob, were you surprised how long they clapped for him?
Yeah, it was about 40, 45
Are
seconds.
you kidding me? Like, the people wouldn't stop clapping for the guy.
Love it.
So that's Florida, folks, but stay in California. It's awesome. Stay in New York.
Please
you got an
stay.
incredible mayor around the corner,
Yep.
but there looks like something we talked about on Wednesday may be becoming a reality. Progressive darling, AOC, is teaming up with Republicans on a rare issue they have in common, taking on their colleagues who may be cashing in on insider information. Ilhan Omar's net worth is reportedly soars after calling millionaire claims ridiculous. Eric Adams, White House in talks over Trump's administration job as pressure mounts for New York City mayoral candidate to sink Zohran Mamdani. MSNBC panelists brawl over hypocrite socialist Mamdani's rent-stabilized apartment. Anyways, there's a lot of stuff going on there that if these 2 or 3 stepped out, he would be, and we talked about it again on Wednesday, but it's been officially validated. Pashinyan, I have to talk about this. Prime Minister of Armenia, after Benjamin Netanyahu recognizes the Armenian genocide, he joins Erdogan from Turkey in objecting to Armenian genocide recognition. Can you imagine if I told you 20 years ago Armenia is going to have a prime minister after Israel recognizes the Armenian genocide, and that prime minister is going to team up and side with Erdogan, the guy who's leading Turkey? If I told you to average Armenian that was going to happen, they would say, you're out of your mind, Pat. Relax. Conservative media at war with Newsmax accuses Fox News of shocking tactics to edge out rival Paramount. You guys remember the Barry Weiss story? We talked about not Barry White. Barry Weiss wanted $200 million. Well, guess what? She's about to get it. Paramount to buy Barry Weiss's free press for up to $200 million and given her senior editorial role at CBS Report. Congratulations to her If this is true, very happy for her. Daily Wire host calls for the execution of Chicago's mayor.
No, he didn't.
Oh, my God. Who wrote the story, by the way? Mediaite. Okay, all right. Well, let's see what they have to say.
Fun with headlines
That's
that
right.
lie.
Salesforce cuts 4,000 jobs due to AI. CEO says. Google ruling show Adam, just grab a seat, buddy. You're okay. Google's ruling shows antitrust tools struggle to keep up with tech markets. And then we're going to talk about the tree planting guy. And then a few other things happen. I thought Messi played lights out last night against Venezuela. To all our Venezuelans that we love, he whooped on you guys. And by the way, Messi gave 2 or 3 passes that honestly you have to be a magician to get it that perfect. And he made it look so easy. So last night, Dylan's at the house. He comes back from practice, freaking 4-hour practice. And I'm telling him, Messi had a great game. Messi had a great game. Messi. By the 3rd time I said Messi had a great pass, he says, Dad, I got it. Messi had a great
Really?
game. Yeah, I don't want to hear it that he had a great game.
So funny.
I said, but he kind of plays the way you play. He says, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Just because Messi didn't talk to him at that one game we were in.
Hey, oh well.
From that day,
He's just anti him. So
it's
funny.
so funny. And then we got a few other things with the RFK hearing. If you guys didn't see it, we'll show you a couple clips. It's pretty nasty how some of the people went after him. Dearborn Heights. You guys ready for this? This upsets me. In the U.S. is the first city to have Arabic police patch. Did you, in America, in an American city, to make sure other people know that it's the Dearborn Heights Police Department, it's written in Arabic. Fantastic. And to see something like that happen. And Venezuela, we'll talk about the Venezuelan stuff. Kaine, Tim Kaine is his name, right?
Kaine.
Former VP candidate of the great Hillary
No
Clinton.
lips. He has no lips.
Sparks backlash after calling Declaration of Independence, God-given rights, extremely troubling. And maybe we'll get into a couple other.
But can I make one observation?
Yes.
We didn't plan this.
No, we didn't plan this
And I'm
at
talking
all.
about we look like 2 future looks bright,
man,
silver.
let me tell
This is
you.
my favorite shirt.
By
I have
the
a gold
way,
one
and
too.
on the back, the logo is also elevated. I didn't know that the logo is elevated. They can't see it. That logo is elevated. That is so sick.
Vinny, take your shirt off real quick. Let me see what's going on.
It's tattooed on my
I want to
chest.
see the
It's
real
embossed with the silver.
Yeah,
That's
the
really
elevated one is, and that's not the elevated one, Rob. If you can go back, I think it's that one right there, the bottom one. Click on that. Is
That's
that what
it.
you clicked on?
That's it.
That's the elevated one.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That is
Embossed print.
absolutely sick.
Very cool.
Folks, go get these because these products, I wore them. It feels anybody that sees it up front, they can't believe what it's like, what it looks like.
May I, sir?
And can I say one thing
May
too?
I?
Go ahead,
Pat,
buddy. Go
I wash and dry. I'm dead serious. I wash and dry. Nothing comes off. Nothing
Yeah.
because the majority of these do mess
It's amazing.
Take
It's
it off,
magic. It's
Vinny.
magical.
And-
And for those of you in California, the ink is flame retardant.
Go-
Wildfire season.
Go to vtmerch.com. Get your future looks bright. By the way, Rob, can you go to the new polo? Can you go to the polo shirts that we got? Guys, I saw a polo shirt that just came in. Eric Caballero was wearing it. First of all, I could not believe how ridiculous these polos were. Can you just go to search and type in? Okay, go a little bit lower, see maybe if it's there. Go a little bit lower, 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 lower. Oh, you're about to get to. Keep going lower. That one right there to the
Oh,
right.
snap.
Oh, my God.
Oh yeah, and he's
Zoom
jacked.
in. By the way, zoom in. Go back a little bit, Rob, to zoom in. The buttons are Valuetainment
Okay.
logo buttons.
I got it.
And the material is I should have shown you the picture of Eric Caballero wearing that
And he's
shirt.
jacked.
Put the link to that as well. The material of these polos are awesome. For some of you guys that are going to work, it's hot. You want to wear something nice. These are high-end quality polo shirts that just came in as well. Rob, if you want to put it on VT merch. Again, this is to all the people that we see. The other day, one of my guys goes to, he's wearing a PBD podcast shirt, and he goes out to a game. He says, Pat, if I tell you 50 people stop to come and talk to me, we watch it as well, we watch it as well, we watch it as well. To all the crazies out there that support what we're doing, we love you, we appreciate you, and we cannot wait to run into you somewhere here soon. Who knows where that's going to be. Too many of you will see you guys in Orlando Monday. We'll all be there. Monday. Vault Conference craziness. That's right. It's going to come real quick. All right, so
days away.
let's get right into it. Just remind me to give those 2 shout-outs to the greatest pastor and to the domino. Rob, can you remind me to do that before the end of it? I want to get into those stories as well.
Come on, Rob.
All right. Okay, so let's get into it. What's the first story we want to go to, Rob? What is the audience saying? What do they want to get into?
50% want to hear about the Epstein press conference yesterday.
So we don't even have anybody that wants to say anything about that, Rob. So where is that story? Not a single person picked the story of Epstein. All right, so let's go through one of them. Let me see this here.
I have 6 other stories.
Epstein is number 1.
Which one do we want to go with? You know what? Why don't you, do you have the Ro Khanna and Thomas Massey one, Rob? Is that Thomas Massey saying something?
This is Thomas Massey yesterday at the hearing, or I'm sorry, at the press conference where he talks about the claims that this is going to be another hoax and the Epstein files
Go ahead
are
and play
a
this
hoax.
clip. Go ahead and play this clip.
I think it's shameful that this has been called a hoax. Hopefully today we can clear that up. This is not a hoax. This is real. There are real survivors. There are real victims to this criminal enterprise. And the perpetrators are being protected because they're rich and powerful and political donors to the establishment here in Washington, D.C.
Okay, so aside from that, I saw Gloria Allred calling out. I saw a bunch of different things. Is this Ro Khanna and what is he saying here?
This is Thomas Massey. He names one of the people implicated in the Epstein.
Yeah, because what he says with Ro Khanna, he says these kids, these girls, if they go out and say the names, they will be sued for the rest of their lives. He says, but I can do it. We are going to read out the names. So apparently him and Ro Khanna want to go out there and read off the names that they have because they're not worried about them being sued. But the people that know the names are being told by their lawyers to not leak the names because of specific reasons. Who knows? Gloria Allred, who is somebody who is representing, by the way, Gloria Allred, I believe, is representing 27 of the rape victims. Rob, can you validate is it 26 or 27? Gloria Allred, who is the GOAT in the space of, what do you want to call this? The
defending
sexual
females.
harassment stuff. She's been the one. One of a very good documentary about her will tell you why she is, 27 survivors she's representing. So she's representing 27 of the Epstein victims, and they're worried about going out and giving the names. But here's what Thomas Massey had to say. Go ahead, Rob.
I'll give you the name of one of the billionaires who's running $2 million of ads in my district since I started this effort. His name is John Paulson. He's a hedge fund manager and a major donor to the Republican Party, a major donor to the Speaker of the House, a major donor to the president's campaign, and he's in Epstein's black book. Now, that's public, but that's indicative of the types of people who may be implicated or just embarrassed by a complete release of these files.
Okay, so, Vinny, question to you.
Yes.
Do you still believe nothing's going to happen to the names? Do you still believe Thomas Massey's time is being wasted? Do you still believe Ro Khanna is wasting his time saying all the stuff that they're saying because nothing's going to happen? Or do you believe there's going to be a little bit of justice for some people out there?
What I wish, Pat, and what I know, not what I believe is going to happen, are completely on the opposite. You know what I wish for? I want every single person, not just on the list, Pat. I want who was their victim, corroborated story, footage that all of a sudden nobody knows where it is. No Cash Patel, no. Remember the 10,000 hours of footage? Yeah. Okay. What I'm starting to feel like is, because a lot of people are like, Trump's on it. Let's put that to the side. We're finding out that people like John Paulson, who is one of the biggest donors to the president, okay, is on that list, okay? And by the way, I do not like how everybody has turned on Thomas Massey. He's the only one, to me, him and like Marjorie Taylor Greene, that are actually still keeping this fire freaking lit and keeping it going. Okay, a lot of people are saying, what's her name? Gloria Allbright. This whole thing lost credibility because she's involved, because she's all, all about the glitz and the glamour. But think about it. John Paulson's one of them, Pat, if we have to think about it. Besides Bill Clinton, besides, the intelligence agency, which Paula Luna just came out and said that, and Rob, I might have sent it to you. Paula Luna said that the intelligence stuff, that the leaked documents have the CIA, have Israel, and have Russia, and I believe China. Everybody was...
Now there's more countries involved?
And I think, that's it. Pat, if you look right there, she says, in my opinion, there's definitely an intelligence connection. Countries named, and the lead attorney for the witnesses included Saudi Arabia, Russia, Israel, as well as former CIA director, inferred to the CIA director under the Bush administration.
It's more than just America or Mossad, you're saying? Now Russia and Saudi are involved?
All these... So what these...
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised. The
Why
victims
would I be surprised?
Yeah.
So all I heard, it was all Mossad.
So my thing is this, Pat, if Trump isn't in there and Trump is innocent, then what's the other explanation? What's the other reason? Protecting people that have given you millions and millions to win. Bill Gates, who I know we'll get into later. Bill Gates yesterday, this guy, of all the stuff that he's done, he's sitting next to the president like everything is good.
And Melania.
Right there. Mind you, this is the guy that his wife Melinda left him, and the main reason she said, her words, was because of his relationship after Epstein was already a convicted pedophile. She said, when I first met him, he was evil personified. You know what I mean? That's a huge step. She said, she goes, he was abhorrent, and she goes,
So what are you saying? You're saying that the president is protecting a guy like Bill Gates?
I believe, like people like John Paulson and stuff, this is just a guess. Some people would say that the reason that this hasn't come out, because I mean, how many mess ups, how many lies, from Pam Bondi to Kash Patel to Dan Bongino looking like this. He killed himself. Like somebody had a gun to his head, to now Trump saying it's a Democrat hoax. Something is off. Something is off. And I don't think we're ever going to get to the actual answer. And I don't think anybody will go to jail. Anybody. And that's a sad, sad thing for me to say.
I don't know if, okay, so Martha Stewart, she went to jail for 5 months.
Yeah.
For insider trading and for something that everybody today does. And she went away for, right? Okay. Do I think no one's going to be held accountable? So watch this, Vinny. Yeah. Here's one way of thinking about it. If you don't believe no one's going to be held accountable, not 100%, it's never going to be 100%, just so you know that. Yeah. It's never going to be 100%. The reason why it's never going to be 100% is why? You don't have enough documents to prove. By the way, it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Yes.
But guess what the court needs?
Proof. Yeah, show me.
So I'm talking to one of the guys at school, and the dean at school, and he says to me, he says, Pat, if I get a claim, and if I don't have documentation, if I don't have anything, if I don't have videos, if I don't have anything, I move on. I can't do anything with it. Yeah. I need something and a couple other witnesses to say something like that happened. If they have it, they can do it. But watch this. If you don't believe anything can happen and nothing will be held accountable, why are we talking about it? Why are we talking about it? Why talk about it on the podcast? Why bring it up? What's the outcome of us talking about it?
I want them to know that we know.
They know. But they know. We need to say it one time, and it's plenty. But actually think about to the core. Why do we talk about a certain story? How many times, Rob, would you say, in all the podcasts in 2025, how many podcasts, say we've done 2 for 8 times 7 months, let's just say, is what, 56? Out of the 56 podcasts we've done this year, Home Team Rob, how many times you think Epstein's been mentioned in one of those 56 podcasts?
Maybe a quarter.
Maybe a quarter?
25%.
I agree. So let's just say 14.
Higher than that, yeah. Go on.
Let's just say 14. Why are we talking about it? Actually ask the question, why are we talking about it?
Actually answer the question?
Yeah.
Because we have, we're at the point where we are right now because we know it's absolutely insane because they get away with murder, literally, that we want something to change, something to happen. I want justice for the...
Where does that come from? What emotion produces that? It's one word, and it starts with the letter H.
Hate?
It's one word. No, hope.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I hope that they're going to freaking...
Right. But guess what we need with hope? Hope is a very powerful thing. Mm-hmm. The moment you no longer think justice will be held, hope is gone. When hope is gone, what do people do? They give up. When people give up, what happens? More victims. So I believe even bringing it up, and now you're seeing Marjorie Taylor Greene. You're seeing Ro Khanna. You're seeing Massey. By the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't part of the same camp as Massey. I think Massey's here. Marjorie Taylor Greene is here. Marjorie Taylor Greene was the one when Kevin McCarthy was up on there negotiating all this stuff, says, hey, pick up the phone, Trump. Like, people forget who she is. She's like a America First Trump at the highest level. Now she's here. Rob, go ahead and play this clip.
The largest press conference that I've seen since I've been here. And this is because this is an issue that matters so much to Americans. This is an issue that doesn't have political boundaries. It's an issue that Republicans and Democrats should never fight about. As a matter of fact, it's such an important issue that it should bring us all together. It's grieved me to watch the arguments and debates take place among my colleagues and even the administration. I think this is something that was worth fighting for. You see, the women behind me are going to tell you stories that you've never heard before. These are unimaginable horrors that they've lived with for their entire lives since they were very, very young. But these are also similar stories that many children, teenagers, women, and even men are enduring nightmares right now as we speak.
You can pause it. So she goes on, and then Rob, there's another clip as well. What is the other clip that President Trump calling it a hoax? Go for it.
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. You know, it reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied. From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president.
Both can be right.
I know.
Why are you saying a hoax?
Yep. It's not a hoax.
Why don't you just say, let's see what happens? I've empowered my guys to find out.
So let me ask you a question then, Pat. Why would he say that? Why would the president of the United States say, which we all know is not true, that this is a hoax? There are women that are standing there that I guarantee would pass a lie detector test, that they were assaulted by Jeffrey Epstein. And here's my thing, Pat. They're saying, we have the names. We're going to put out our own list. Why don't they go in a session, bring them in there, bring the people in there? It'd be easy to corroborate with evidence of the footage that the FBI or somebody has, which, what is it, missing? They have the footage of Jeffrey's of his house with all the footage. What are we even talking about?
Rob, what is this, the flyover?
Okay, so this clip right here, hang on one second here. F-16s flew over the Epstein press conference while the victims were
Let's hear it.
Justice telling me that this was going to happen when it had already happened. This woman abused children.
Who's flying over? What is that?
That's our F-16s.
Intentionally, or
I have no idea, but the timing is pretty freaking crazy. Look how long they had to stop talking.
This is taking place in D.C.?
Yes, on Capitol Hill.
Tom, your thoughts. Tom, your thoughts here.
So, some things die, some things stay, and some things keep getting bigger. And when you have stories like this one keeps getting bigger. Now you've got Gloria Allred with even more victims talking about New Mexico Ranch, not just the island, not Ghislaine.
Zora Ranch.
Yeah, the
8,000 acres.
In 1996.
Yeah.
So you've got three women that's saying, I will give you dates, I will show you flights, I will show you where it was, and we're compiling our own list. So to me, that's more stuff coming. Why do these people do it? They're not paid influencers hiding behind an account on X just trying to howl at the moon on some issue. You know how that works. They lobbyists and pay people to do that. No, these are people coming to a microphone, putting their face in the public eye, and it's getting worse. So, and now MTG, she comes down there, and now she comes out, and then there's little things going on. What's she doing? And people are upset with her. She's taking political risks coming to that microphone. And now you have MTG. It's getting worse. And so I look at it as that people are realizing the depth of what happened here. And I think that there's a deal. It's like, why does Ghislaine go from one prison down to
a lesser prison,
a lesser restrictive and a lesser harsh prison by a lot of people's descriptions?
Yeah.
That's in Texas. Why? How did she move there? Was this part of the negotiation?
Todd
Look,
Blanche,
I'll talk to you. I'll give you an interview, but you got to move me to a little bit more comfortable prison. They didn't send her to a condo. They sent her to another prison. So, Pat, it keeps getting worse. And that's what bothers me. What bothers me is more keeps coming out. It's not more people covering it.
He just has to do one thing. Stop calling it a hoax.
Agree.
Stop, trolling this topic because you're turning your own team against you. Keep saying, I've empowered Bondi. I've empowered Cash. I've empowered Anna Paulina. I've empowered them, and whatever they come out with, we will release. Stop calling it a hoax. You can't keep calling it a hoax. It is, you have so many great things that's going on right now in America. So many great things. Streets of the biggest criminal, crimes, homicides taking, you're cleaning it up. Border is clean. Tariffs, $30 billion in August, guys. $30 billion of revenue in August.
Cash to the U.S. and United
Cash
States.
to the U.S. This is a record-breaking month in the history of America with tariffs. They thought inflation was going to be crazy. Didn't happen. You got stuff that's going on right now where rates are about to go down 3 more times between now and the end of the year, give or take. 2 or 3 more times between now and the end of the year. This is stuff that we've never seen. Borders clean. You're doing deals with people. You've cornered people that are wanting to do stuff with you. They're coming to you. They're knocking on the door. Don't say hoax. It's not helping your camp out. Leave it alone and let them do the job. He has a way of saying things which is very powerful. I hope he's watching this, even if it's by himself. When you say things like, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, the reality, I've hired great people, and let's see what they find out, and justice will prevail, and let's leave it up to them. And if it happened, great. If it didn't happen, great. But guess what? What I don't like is a lot of people use the Me Too movement to ruin a lot of men's lives, and that concerns me. And that's something that makes me very uncomfortable, because we saw when it happened at first, everything was about Me Too, Me Too, Me Too. Everybody, one by one, they started to 30 million, 20 million, 18 million, 16 million. It was like, let me get everybody. And doesn't mean everybody was part of the Me Too movement, right? So I'm a little bit sympathetic to that, because I saw what happened and it ruined a lot of men's lives. But if there are people that did do it and there is proof to it, let justice prevail. That's all you have to say. You don't need to say hoax. There's no benefit of saying that. There's literally no benefit of calling it that. All these massive documentaries that are being done where kids are saying, a girl goes and brought 14-year-old girls to Epstein that he hooked up with, and she got paid $200 for bringing a 14-year-old girl from her high school.
Yep.
You think that's an act? And then she got in trouble because she brought 24 girls to Epstein. Why would she get in trouble for bringing 24 girls? Why would the cops say you're also committing a crime? What is the crime? She brought underage girls to Epstein. The cop says, you're also a criminal. What did I do wrong? How about him? Well, no, you're bringing underage. So if she's getting in trouble for it, so that means he's doing it. So if he's doing it, the victims are there. This is overly documented. So I don't know. I think every time it goes like this, notice the pattern with, and I don't want to go a lot with Epstein from your and Adam. I just want to move on to the next stories. If you have anything unique you want to say, tell me. If it's anything that's the same old, this is not on my top 20 list, this is not this, we can just move on. I'll come to a different story with you. But this is what I want you to be thinking about. If it goes like this, notice the Epstein story. It peaks, then what does it do?
Dips.
And then you say hoax,
boom,
and it comes back up.
Yep.
So guess what? It's because you're the momentum. Change the script. Give a different message. And let your guys do the part. Whatever you truly want to say it privately. Stop calling it a hoax publicly. There's other things that we can go with. I just don't know if I like that approach that he's taking. Is there anything unique you want to say? Go ahead.
So you may not want to call it a hoax. You might not want to call it a cover-up, but you can certainly call it a secret. Because are you familiar with the secret rule in grand jury testimonies? A rule called 6E. Have you heard about any of this? So you guys cover Epstein more than me, but I heard something that might be the reason that nobody can say a damn word. So find out what Rule 6E is. It's basically secrecy. It's a secrecy rule for the U.S. federal grand juries, and it's basically a shield where you can't say anything at all. It's like a gag order or a sealed document, no matter what the rule is. So why does this always come back to the courts? Always come back to the courts. Always come back to the courts. You think Thomas Massey knows anything about this? You think Marjorie Taylor Greene knows anything about this? If Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino aren't saying anything, these two guys don't know anything. But I would encourage you to look into this thing called the secret rule, called Rule 6E. Shout out to Jeffrey Mead to talking about this. It's basically saying there's a gag order and you can't say a thing. So I'm removing complete emotion from this. Everyone gets so worked up about Epstein, but according to sealed documents, they cannot unseal them.
What's the point? What do you mean? Rule 6E, secrecy requirement. So that's why you keep saying it's a hoax? And you think that's the right move? For me to keep saying it's a hoax instead of saying, I've empowered people to do the job and let's see what comes out. I've empowered them to do the job. Now you're saying the biggest press conference, now a girl that was on your side flips and is loud. You think Marjorie Taylor Greene is quiet? Girl trains 5-6 times a day. She can do more push-ups and and pull-ups than 99% of men out there. You think she's going to stop? You think that's going to stop?
Nancy Mace?
Those are two different things. This could be correct.
Keep going.
Yeah, but all I'm saying, my frustration with this isn't with this. Let the guys do their part and find out what's the bottom of it. Let's get to the bottom of this.
I think everybody wants to get to the bottom of this, but this is a reason why they can never get to the bottom. Because the courts are intervening and saying, no, you're not going to find out anything. My position
is a different position.
These victims from New Mexico weren't in front of grand juries. They're coming to a microphone saying what happened to them in 1996.
I didn't make this law, guys.
No, Adam.
I'm saying what the law is.
No, Adam. What he's saying.
Why don't you look up it? It was meant to protect. It was meant to protect witnesses from other witnesses. That if I leaked, we're in a mob grand jury, and all of us are testifying against it, and I mention who was in there with me, and I mention also what went on in there, all of us could be retaliated against by the mob that wants to kill witnesses. So there are things in grand jury. I don't think it has anything to do with Epstein. These victims from 1996 from New Mexico are talking about what happened to themselves.
It definitely has something
and
to do
talking
with
about
Epstein
in hearings, in open hearings, that Nancy Mace leaves in tears because it relates to her. So there may be grand jury elements here, but there's a lot of people it's getting up. And
like Blatson.
Sorry, Pat.
Don't argue with me.
No, we're not. No,
argue with ChatGPT and Rule 16.
Adam, ready for this?
Because that's what it says.
Adam, ready for this? I'm a girl that was assaulted by Epstein and some of these higher ups. I haven't gone to court. I haven't done nothing, but I'm going to the stand and I have a story to tell. There's nothing to do with grand jury. She hasn't been to court yet. What happens to that girl? Like, ready for this? I was raped. I was underage and X, Y, and Z at Epstein Island altar. And guess what? They're all in government or they're all big Silicon Valley guys. She has nothing to do with this rule. That's the thing. How is she going to come forward? Because the one girl that came forward, what happened to her? Prince Andrew, the girl. They paid her off, right? What was it, Pat?
Yeah.
Virginia Giuffre. What happened to that poor girl? They gave her money. The Prince of England.
She got hit by a bus.
Got hooked up with an underage girl, and you know his penalty was? A little bit of money and a slap on the wrist from the Queen, from his mother. And that was it. Pedophilia, put under the rug. That's it. That's what happens.
It's very simple.
Nobody's a fan of pedophilia,
Andrew.
We're trying to get to the bottom line of why they're not sealing these documents.
What did the girls? Did you have one of what the girls were saying or no?
Yes. Here's the victim talking about putting together their own list together.
Go for it.
Transparency is justice. Release the files, end the secrecy, and stand with us in declaring that no one, no billionaires, no politicians, not world leaders, is above the law.
It's going to keep getting bigger, guys.
And let me announce now.
For one reason.
Several of us Epstein survivors have been discussing creating our own list of names.
Please hurry up. Do it.
Why haven't they done it yet?
They don't want to get lost.
They don't want to get hit by a freaking bus.
So check this out. So let me put it to you this way. To me, every time he says hoax, these things are going to get bigger. Very simple. Every time they say hoax, this is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It ain't going to get smaller. FYI, if I was a Democrat right now, I would be running with this 24/7.
Well, they are.
If I was a Democrat.
Really.
No, not really.
No, they're not. Not
if
like
that. If I was a Democrat, I'm not talking mainstream. Because mainstream knows a lot of the guys on that list are also Democrats. So a lot of Democrats also don't want their best friends and stuff to be affected by it. So that's why they're not doing it. But if I'm anything on the other side, like you're seeing Newsom's driving this. Newsom's on top of it, right? If I'm any of those guys, I'd be driving this. But I think Trump is sitting there saying they're not going to because both sides are implicated. Both sides are, what do you call it? Is that the word?
Yeah, implicated. They're both guilty.
So if they're both guilty, but all I'm saying to you is keep saying hoax. Keep saying hoax and see if this thing goes away. It's not going to go away. It's going to keep getting bigger. Let's get to the next story here. Next story I want to get to is in regards to Mamdani and Eric Adams. It's a very interesting story what happened here. On Wednesday, we read a poll that showed that if Curtis Sliwa, if Eric Adams, and if those two stepped out the race, Cuomo, Andrew, would be beating Mamdani. And I was the poll, and I said, well, if that's going to be the case, someone's got to give Mayor Adams a job, and someone's got to give Sliwa a job at the White House. President Trump needs to make that phone call, and guess what happened? That's the story that apparently now is circulating. Eric Adams and White House in talks. We literally said this 2 days ago. In talks over Trump administration job as pressure mounts for New York City mayoral candidates to sink Zoran Mamdani. Okay, let me read this, and then I'm going to come to this Mamdani, because now Mamdani is saying that, why don't you come and debate me? Mamdani he knows this game very well. You got to give him credit. He knows how to do a spin job and make it all about him, and that's what he's supposed to be doing. Top White House officials are in talks with a potential job for Eric Adams, including a possible ambassadorship, nothing related to Turkey, as Tom said earlier, as pressure mounts for mayoral candidates to drop out in candidate support for around former Governor Andrew Cuomo to challenge Democratic Zoran Mamdani. A source close to Trump administration said, I think Adams will be able to craft a position and a portfolio that's to his liking, while another source to the White House said, I've heard Adams' team wants it. And although Mayor Adams has been the most pro-housing mayor in New York City history, and at no time did he ask for it, nor was he offered a job at HUD. So, hence, that's kind of one of the things that's coming up. Rob, play this clip with Mamdani.
I think it's outrageous. And I think oftentimes in a race such as this, it's tempting to think of this solely in the question of how does this impact the race? But this is an affront to our city's democracy. This is an affront to the values that make so many of us proud to be Americans, that we could choose our own leaders, not that our leaders pick themselves or their friends. And we're seeing in this time when Donald Trump has taken snap from hungry New Yorkers, has passed legislation that would throw millions of New Yorkers off their health insurance, that we have Democrats in Andrew Cuomo and Eric Adams working with this administration to try and subvert the will of Democratic primary voters right here in New York City.
Okay, so that's Mamdani. Eric Adams denies that there was anything there. He's saying, what happened, Tom? He's saying there's anything
I'm
there.
waiting for you.
What's this one, Rob? This is
CNN reporting. I can't find a clip of Eric Adams actually denying the rumors, but CNN reports that he has denied the rumors.
That he has denied the report. Okay, so we don't need to play the clip. I thought it was Adams. That's fine. So we know he's denied it. Tom, what do you think is going on here?
Well, first of all, also, this just in, independent candidate, 3% of the polling. One poll had him at 4%. Jim Walden has dropped out. So now he's out, and we're working on Eric Adams. I love to carefully look at words that people say. I have not been offered a job in the White House. And then I looked around, and there was 2 little leaks, and you don't know how credibility that he's actually being offered a job at HUD. Weird. Well, if he's offered a job at HUD...
It's not the White House.
It's not the White House.
Very smart.
I'm not being offered a job in the White House. I'm being job on the HUD. But guess what? Where there's smoke, there's fire. I believe Eric Adams is in talks. And by the way, if you look at his background with police and union and understanding the plight of the inner city and the things that he responded to with domestic violence and everything that he did with the police, I actually think he would be good at HUD with that kind of experience, with the kind of things that HUD tries to do to help downtown cities. Mm-hmm. So I actually think Eric Adams, it wouldn't be like one of these, remember when college kids would get a job watering the grass for like $300 a week because he's on the football team?
Of course.
And then you find out that the sprinklers are on a timer.
Yeah.
And he's
just giving him cash.
He gets $300 a week. No, I don't think it's something like that at all. I think Eric Adams is negotiating. I think you were dead on, Pat. You were correct in what you said, and now we're seeing it in print. I think he's going to be at HUD. I think that's very possible. I think that would actually be a good job for him. And Walden is out, which means that right now that's probably another 10 full points. You go back to Cuomo. So I think Cuomo is probably at 40.0 right now with this if he steps back. Now, Curtis... Sliwa is the Sliwa or Sliwa? From Guardian Angels. That's going to be the tough one. I think that's going to be the Ross Perot guy in the middle here. That's what I think.
But let me ask you a question. Do you guys think, with all this, with Eric Adams leaving, Walden leaving, do you think New Yorkers are going to rally around Cuomo? And is that push going to be hard enough? Are they going to forget all the stuff he did while he was governor, especially during COVID with all the nursing home deaths that is looming over him? And the controversy with the women and all that.
As they say, that's his bloody albatross. That's the old thing.
You think that's going to get in the way? I don't think it is.
You don't like.
Let me tell you how politics work, Vinny. It's such a
crazy.
It's not to the average person. It won't make sense because you could have something right now that's like you realize the governor of California hooked up with his best friend's wife, campaign manager.
Yeah, and he's
the governor of California.
Yeah.
You realize the governor of California got $24 billion to clean up homelessness, and it increased by 36,000.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
So to me, politics is very weird.
Yeah.
And these guys, they know you have to learn how to be Teflon. You're going to be in the tornado for the next 2-3 weeks. They're going to attack you nonstop. It's going to go away. And then you're going to come back. Americans move on. There's going to be a new story cycle and da-da-da-da. That's what happens.
So do you think, that being said, I agree. Do you think with Mamdani's rise right now, because he's climbing, do you think them leaving and Cuomo coming in, it'll be a close race?
Yeah, it's going to be a close race.
That's what we need.
I think it's going to be a very close race with the involvement of one person.
DJT.
That's it.
Yep.
With that, Adam.
I don't know. I'm actually with Mamdani on this. I think this stinks to high heaven. You know, Trump made a famous line, it's a rigged system, it's a rigged system, it's a rigged system. This seems like a rigged system because in a democracy, you don't want to avert the will of the people. You know, democracy, sometimes the politicians want to protect the people from the decisions that the people make. Sometimes you got to let the people make some damn bad decisions. And that's what needs to happen in New York City. So, you know, people in 2011, they were doing the Occupy Wall Street movement because they were pissed as hell as the big bank bailouts. And they had every right to think that way. Chamath, the famous from the All In podcast, you know, when they bailed out the airlines, he said, let them fail. If you're making bad decisions and you're doing stock buybacks and you're not prepared for a black swan event or anything like that, then you should fail. New York City is a failing city, and you're going to try to avert the will of the people who want this socialist, communist, Islamist. Let them have who they want. Let the boy watch, as they say. So a democracy is only as strong as the wisdom of the people. And if the wisdom of the people in New York City want Mamdani, give them Mamdani. Stop trying to basically have Trump come in, Eric Adams, Cuomo. That seems like a rigged system. Now, I'm no Mamdani fan, but I'm a fan of democracy.
But let me ask you a question, Adam. This America isn't just some company like Boeing or whatever like that. You're talking about, and I know where you stand on this. Are you like, he's not interfering, he's helping. Do you think him getting involved isn't trying to help from a quote unquote or alleged communist, terrorist, sympathizer, whatever the hell the media is calling him? Are you willing to go, hey, let them learn? And then he comes in, and then in Dearborn, you have freaking Arabic writing on freaking, and then it starts spreading, and then we get to a point where you're like, wait a minute, we shouldn't have let that one guy get in New York, because if it starts there, it's going to keep spreading.
Let me tell you, buddy, there's a lot that you said that I agree with. And these
where you at,
are going to be conversations, Vinny, that we're going to be having every year for the next couple decades. Of do we want people who don't stand for typical American values running our government?
I don't.
And we're going to see them. You think Mamdani's the last?
Oh no,
Islamic communist
Look at
to come
Minneapolis
in?
and all.
Let me tell you.
Get ready for more.
There's a part of what Adam is saying is an actual good point, but
that's shocking.
Rob laughing.
But the part you got to be thinking about.
You probably misspoke.
But the part you have to think about. This is politics. They're going to call for the favors. Very simple.
Oh, no doubt.
And they're going to do it on the left. They're going to do it on the right. They're going to do it everywhere. What do you think is going on? Right, California is going to be 48-4 on House of Representatives for the state. Mm-hmm. Out of 52 House of Representatives in the state of California by November 4th, if this gerrymandering new structure goes down, 48 is going to be on the left. What kind of control do you think they're going to have? You know, same with Texas. What they did there. Crockett about to be fired by November 4th. So this is the political game, but there's a guy, every once in a while, somebody's endorsement carries weight, okay? For a long time, it used to be Obama. Obama no longer carries weight.
Oh, no.
His voice no longer carries the weight it used to carry at all, and it's not even close. Trump's voice has just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. Everybody wants his endorsement. He gets involved left, right, and center. Things get done. People move. And I think there's one guy that can do this for New York, and he's got a heart for New York. Family, parents, dad, all of that stuff. You don't have to agree with it, but that's probably what's going to end up happening.
I listen, you know, I'm on the Trump team. I'm on the Trump train. I don't think Trump carries that much weight in New York City at this point. New York City, I get that they leaned towards Trump this time. He didn't win New York. He didn't win the state. I don't think that he's helping the cause here. Because anyone who's Republican or independent is already voting against Mamdani. You need to convince people in the Democratic Party to stop voting against their own interests and not vote for Mamdani. None of those people are Trump guys. So from a macro perspective, from a federal perspective, presidential perspective,
I think New York City is different.
I think New York City hates Trump.
Yeah. I think New York City, there are people that hate Trump, but a lot less than what it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, because they're waking up.
Yeah.
We're still seeing the reverberations of how woke New York City is now.
He's optimistic on what he can do, and I think it's more than you think, but I also understand what your point you're making. The fact that, let him fail. Let the too big to fail happen, right?
Here's my prediction. I'll give it to you in 10 seconds or less. Mamdani gets elected. City turns to crap. They find in 5 years, their next mayor, Rudy Giuliani, and they clean up that city because it needs to go into the depths of hell.
I think it'll be too late because I think
that's what they said in the 90s, though.
No, I think it'll be too late because people when Democratic Socialists took over Detroit, what happened? It's too late. If that happens and the billionaires leave, they're not coming back. Once the billionaires leave, King Griffin's not going back to Chicago.
Rest in peace, New York City.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
If this happens, it's going to be
what a shame.
It's going to be catastrophic, and they'll feel it. Okay, let's go to the next story here. Next story I want to go to is Google ruling show antitrust tools struggle to keep up with tech markets. This is a Wall Street Journal story. Let me get to this one here with Google. Boom, there we go. A U.S. District Judge, Amit Mehta, ruling on Tuesday, found Alphabet's Google guilty of illegally monopolizing the online search market, but imposed modest penalties requiring Google to share some search data with competitors and barring exclusive contracts for its search engine, Chrome, Google Assistant, and Gemini app, while rejecting the Justice Department's push for divestiture of Chrome for Android. The decision, following a 5-year legal battle starting in 2020, allows Google to maintain its roughly $20 billion annual payment to Apple for default search status on iPhones, with Meta noting cutting off payments from Google almost certainly will impose substantial, in some cases, crippling downstream harms to the distribution partner related to markets and consumers, which counsels against a broad payment ban. Tom, your thoughts on this?
So what's very, very interesting to me is what you just said. Apple is getting $20 billion a year from Google.
It's a membership fee.
Yeah. And so,
literally, and by the way, it's a lot of people doing that.
Jeez.
Yep. And so they're paying Apple to get preferential treatment on iPhone markets, the App Store. And so what we're seeing here is that there's kind of a pretzel, right? Look at Venezuela. What kind of airplanes flew over our ship? Ours, our really old ones that were sold to Venezuela, but that was our old airplanes still flying. That could have ended up in the water if Venezuela wasn't careful. But it shows you the pretzel, right? The pretzel that's in the Wall Street Journal headline was remarkably correct. It shows antitrust tools struggle to keep up with the tech markets. What they're trying to keep up with is like, Apple's like, well, if Google's a monopoly on this, we're kind of a monopoly in other ways too. Maybe we don't yell too loud and we just keep the $20 billion coming from Google. I think it's simple as that because it is so hard now to break them up. For a year, it's been talking about that Chrome would be spun out to somebody else. And we've covered on this podcast, remember, Pat, we would cover deals like between companies. We said, and Chrome is also going to be a part of it.
Yep.
And this other company over here was looking at that. And it's like, oh, there's the deal coming together. But guess what? At the end of the day, somehow the judge... Now, why did the judge think that? Cutting off payments from Google will impose substantial, some cases crippling downstream harms to distribution partners. Who said that? The distribution partners. You can't let this happen. It'll cause crippling downstream harm to me. So he said, okay, I guess I'll say, this is what we'll do. You can't do this, but you're going to maintain your monopoly in search ads. And guess what that means? That means when Apple gets charged over, a lot of people are upset about this 30% VIG that they put across everybody, and they say that's monopolistic. So when Apple's in court, guess who they're going to expect to be whispering on the other side this ain't so bad? Google.
Yeah, Google.
So what's the bottom line, Tom?
The bottom line is it's like a pretzel of relationships here where suddenly the titans, and you've got Google, Microsoft, and Apple are all three very, very large that are vulnerable from this type of investigations, legislations by the Department of Commerce and Federal Trade Commission. And they're all, I think, at the end of the day, going to kind of help each other because this comment that came from the judge didn't come out of his own deliberations. That came out of the mouth of a distribution partner.
By the way, so it's going to be interesting what this does to open it up for others.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I know a few months ago, Tom, if I'm not mistaken, the whether it was FTC, somebody was trying to force them to sell Chrome. Who offered money for Chrome about 2-3 months ago? Somebody offered $60 billion to buy Chrome. Yeah, who was the company that offered $60 billion? It was like one of those AI companies. Was it Perplexity? Who offered?
I think that's right.
Okay, Perplexity offered $34.5 billion to buy Chrome. Yep. And they did this with a public announcement ahead of the hearing. So they were wanting the U.S. Department of Justice antitrust to know that, hey, I know you guys are going through Google. If you really want to break them apart with monopoly, we got an offer here for you. Wow. And it's actually a great move because
they did it on purpose.
Well, when we were dealing with this property and was trying to buy this property, I was speaking to the DOJ and the FBI regularly on a weekly basis. And I told them, I said, if you guys want to wait till he gets charged to sell the property, or when can you sell it? And I made an offer before the challenge, the scandal that was taking place. Apparently the owner had some business relationships with Biden's brother or something like that. He was going away for something here. It was actually a big scandal. And then eventually we made the offer, and then the DOJ realized that we're interested, and then later on they brought us in as one of the leading, bidders for the auction, and then we ended up picking up the property.
By the way, this offer wasn't made to Google. It was, but it was really meant to be in the ear of the judge.
That's right.
So that Google would say, Chrome is so expensive, who on earth would buy it? Well, hang on a second. These Perplexity guys are in the parking lot with $34 billion.
Cash money. $34.5 billion cash.
You better believe Google knows who their enemy is now.
Oh, yeah.
They know who they're targeting. Adam, thoughts?
Well, in an unrelated note, they announced that Trump is going to be hosting all the big tech bros at the newly renovated Rose Garden at the White House. So everyone you're talking about is going to be in the same room in DC. So the Google boys will be there. Mark Zuckerberg is going to be there. Tim Cook from Apple is going to be there. Bill Gates is going to be there.
Vinny's friend. They were there yesterday.
The Palantir guys, Sam Altman, Jeff Bezos. I think his team is going to be there from Blue Origin, allegedly. You know who's conveniently left off this list? Oh my God.
Elon
Musk is not invited to the big tech bro conference. Now I think he has his, consigliere, David Sachs. I think they're pretty tight, right? Those guys hang out. But this is reminiscent of when Biden conveniently left Elon Musk off the big EV summit, green summit and the White House in, I think, 2022. And that pretty much backfired on Biden's behalf. But
wait a minute.
Interesting to see here.
I just verified this. Elon Musk tweeted that he was invited.
Really?
But he couldn't attend. Yeah.
Oh.
So big difference with Biden.
Couldn't attend?
But with difference with Biden. Biden didn't invite.
Correct. Okay,
and
gotcha.
he said it. But here he tweeted and says, I was invited, but I wasn't able to attend. That a representative would attend on his behalf. So the White House did confirm that his company had been invited and would be represented, but it wasn't clear if Musk would personally be there.
And I'm glad that you found that. Let's read into this a little bit.
But under Rule 16G, he can't say he was invited.
Exactly. If all the big boys are going to be there, Bezos of the world, the Zucks of the world, the Gates of the world, the Google boys, what does Elon have going on conveniently that day that he can't make this big meeting? Clearly, there's still some bad blood between Trump and Elon.
For sure, but it's important to know that he was invited. It's a big difference. I don't think Trump is afraid of inviting or not inviting for the guy to be there at a tech meeting that he's having, because he knows that now he would be just like Biden if he didn't invite him. I just want to make sure to clarify that.
Out of all those names that I mentioned, who does Elon Musk have the most beef with?
Who does he have most beef with?
Yeah, out of all the tech bros.
I have no idea who he has.
Doesn't he have major beef with Sam Altman?
Yes, beef with a lot. Elon has beef with a lot of people.
Yeah, but who is it the most?
He may have beef with every one of those guys in the room. And the Google guys, you know the story with the Google?
Certainly Gates. He's got
beef with a lot of people.
What was the Google story? There was like a wife involved?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, speaking of Elon, because Valuetainment, I just saw that we posted it. Tesla offers unprecedented $1 trillion pay package to Musk. $1 trillion they just offered him.
I told you, he'll be a trillionaire within 18 to 20 18 to 36
I was right
months.
here, and I was like, I agree.
Guys, I don't know.
What?
Like I say all the time, $1 trillion ain't what it used to be, guys.
just, it's
How are you supposed to?
You know what?
How are you supposed to pay rent in New York City?
You're supposed to. Well,
with the cost of living,
let me tell you
$1 trillion.
what
Come
you
on,
may
guys.
want to consider doing.
Buy Central America.
What you may want to consider doing is one of the highest paying jobs right now, allegedly, is planting trees.
Real? Oh, yeah, that's
and
right.
There's this guy named Kawhi Leonard.
He's French?
Yeah, he's actually got massive hands.
Yep.
Okay. He's I think he picked up the French name when he played for a city called Toronto Raptors.
Toronto.
And then he played for San Antonio. And then when he went to Clippers, there's a guy who was the former CEO of the Microsoft. This guy is worth a couple $100 billion. On any given day, he's worth between $150 to $200 billion. He decides to find a way to pay Kawhi Leonard, allegedly, more money than the contract to be able to bring him in. So they started a company. This guy that found out about this, who reported on this, is I think it's just a regular independent journalist, Pablo Toro, who found out that the Shell endorsement deal, they started a Shell company that is a tree planting company.
That's a joke.
In the contract, it is required to pay KL1 and KL2. I'm sorry, KL2. Who is KL? Kawhi Leonard to aspire $7 million a year for 4 years, okay, is what the contract was. And this is how he paid them the money, okay, $7 million. Now, Rob, if you can find it, Ballmer was interviewed to address this because this is he was interviewed to address this, and his answer is actually he should run for office the way he gives the answer. So that's the fact of a way for them to get more money, to avoid the salary cap, create a fake money, to allegedly funnel money, fake company to allegedly funnel. That's the one right there, Rob. He's been asked about it. And Tom, watch what he said here. Go ahead.
Let's talk to the fan. We signed that deal with Kawhi before any of this, before Kawhi even knows these people. We've signed our deal. That's high integrity. We made our deal with aspiration. Literally, I had no control over the company. Literally, even when I invested, I think there was somebody who put in 6 times as much money as I did. No control. And that's okay. The average fan should understand that. And they went off and made a deal. I don't know what the deal is. I know what the reports are with the speculation. I don't know what the deal is or was. And frankly, I can't even tell you whether it's this much different, that much different, or not different at all from some of the other endorsement contracts that athletes do. In terms of amount, I don't know. I actually don't know the amounts of most endorsement deals. But when you look at Forbes magazine and they talk about the highest paid athletes, many of those top athletes, as Kawhi was a top athlete, is a top athlete, you read those things and they say they make up more off endorsements than they do their, very large salaries. So I don't know what to expect, but I think the average fan may not either. But we did things by the book, and I don't know what those deals should look like, nor do I know what this one looked like specifically.
Rob, can you stop? Allegedly, he invested $50 million into it, okay? And there was the co-founder, a guy named Joe Sandberg of Aspiration, who has pleaded guilty of fraud charges for defrauding investors of over $248 million. Rob, can you pull this guy up? $248 million. Joe Sandberg, without a D, like Ryan Sandberg, take the D out for Sandberg. There you go. Zoom in. Sandberg arrested March of 2025 on charges of defrauding investors for $145 million. On August 2025, the Department of Justice announced that Sandberg has agreed plead guilty to defrauding multiple investors and lenders for $248. And Ballmer put 50 into this. So Ballmer may be right, okay, on what happened here. Who knows what was going to go here? But Tom, what else do you know about the story?
Well, I know what I heard, and what I heard there was Steve Ballmer saying, I had no control over the company. We did it by the book. And when you hear those two things, it tends to make you wonder about, okay, what's the third leg of the stool here, Steve? Did you have any idea that there was another deal out there? Just answer that question. Okay, you did your deal by the book. You did it before this one happened. You had no control over this company. all right, you've got your deniability, you're clean. It's called keeping yourself clean. You're clean. But did you have any idea this was happening? It harkens back to Eddie DiBartolo, who had the San Francisco 49ers and
DiBartolo.
Half, let me tell you.
For the DiBartolo family here. Come on.
Hey, half of the salary cap rules supposedly were drafted as a result of NFL investigations into DiBartolo's alternative methods of payments. After they won a Super Bowl, he brought everybody to Hawaii and gave them like ridiculously expensive Rolex watches. Over a certain level, you're supposed to claim that. There was also that he supposedly arranged them to invest in companies that had like mini malls or something. I don't remember the specific facts, but the NFL dug into it and says, how are players getting paid by a company that makes malls that he barely invests anything in? They're getting these dividends or something. And it was this wonderful chap who came out of New Orleans with a lot of allegations of ties to gambling, whatever. But he tried to find ways to keep his team together and to pay the players more. And half of the salary cap rules came out of that. And so my question is, why can't Steve Ballmer just say, I had no idea about this. I've never had any conversations with somebody. I didn't know it was coming, planned. I was no part of it. I didn't even talk to these people. Say that when you also say, we did the contract by the book. Okay, you're clean. I have no control over the company I invested in. Okay, dude, you're clean. It's one thing to stay clean. It's another thing to absolutely come out and say, there was nothing here. And you had other NBA owners who know the economics of these who were coming out and saying, how the hell did the Clippers get Kawhi Leonard under that deal? Yeah. It says that's not the going rate. You had other owners that were speaking out and whispering to the NBA saying, dude, all right, you want to live in LA. But you got all these taxes in California. How did they do this? That's a fair question if you're another owner.
Yeah, let me tell you, this reminds me of the old Jerry Tarkanian UNLV, where he would fight the U.S. He would fight NCAA. Say, look, we go by the rules. We go by the rules. We go by the rules. Mm-hmm. And there were guys, Vinny, they would say, all right, so, because the mob was in Vegas.
Of course.
They would say, I want you to work valet at from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. A car's going to show up, a black, Cadillac is going to show. When it does, you take the keys. They're going to give you a tip. Great. Take the car, go park it. You get a $100,000 tip.
Wow.
And it's like, look, we didn't do it. It's you got a tip.
What do you follow?
Very generous. What you want me to do? So,
and they let him keep the car. Just a nice guy.
But this is going to a whole different level with what do you call it? To trying to get caught. By the way, you know what the reality of it is? Oh my God, did it backfire? Mm-hmm. Okay, how many years? Rob, can you pull up how many years? How many years has Kawhi Leonard been with the Clippers?
I mean, Pat, as the local NBA resident, I can tell you that he signed there in 2020 after he won the championship in 2019.
He signed in 2019.
You, as a casual basketball fan, should know that.
You're off. How many total regular season games?
No. You said what year did he show
2019.
He used to get a lot of owies.
This guy's got one leg at this point.
Stop.
He hasn't played.
Get your NBA facts together, man. You claim you know NBA. You know nothing about the NBA.
I don't know if you've ever even watched
an amateur. Okay, watch this. Watch this, Tom. You ready? So during the 7 years, okay, he's been there since 2019, 6 seasons full that he's been there. You ready? So let's do the math.
He was MVP 21-22, wasn't he?
Each season is how many? Each season is 82
Come on, Pat, you should know it's
6,
82 games.
492. Out of 492 regular season games, Vinny, he's played only 266.
So he's played half the time he's
half the time. So
he's better than Zion Williamson.
He's played 266 out of 492. So guess what the market did? These guys were supposed to win multiple championships.
Of course.
Nothing happened.
Stacked, baby.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened with these guys. Go ahead. Give us your expertise
shams right now.
in badminton.
This is what is called a bad ROI for you business owners out there and you investors out there. You think you're going to get a sweetheart deal, whatever happened, follow the money, with what I would call probably the most fun, richest owner in the NBA, Steve Ballmer.
He is.
Entrepreneur. He basically makes Mark Cuban look like a broke casual fan. But he recruited Kawhi, and they've had nothing to show from it. Paul George was supposed to be their second in command. He's gone. Nothing going on here. They've done nothing. You got the Lakers. The year that he showed up to LA, the Lakers won the championship in the bubble. They beat my Heat. So you got the Lakers hanging championship banners. Meanwhile, the Clippers are just like hanging their heads in shame because they've done nothing. Now they're a major improvement since the racist.
Don't give me NBA analysis. Tell me about the story
Donald Sterling.
Yeah, this guy's
Steve
giving us an
Ballmer.
analysis.
Yeah.
Our audience doesn't want your analysis.
Yeah,
they want to know what you think about.
They're going to get what I give them. I'll tell you that much.
All right, let me get to the next story.
Anyway, the point is
here.
this. This was a shrewd business move that has backfired because they've done nothing. It's like recruiting someone to your company that you think is going to change the game.
What's actually going to happen?
And you end up
Tom?
losing money.
Anything?
Well, the NBA
Could they lose like 3 draft picks for the next 3 years?
I'm telling you right now, a bunch of trees aren't going to be planted.
the
I'll tell you that
NBA
much.
The NBA does things 2 ways: loud and publicly, or quiet and privately. There's usually nothing in the middle. Nothing in the middle.
That's a good point.
It's like, go study why Jordan played baseball for 2 years. And then go look at big things where they're jumping at the microphone and sending a $500,000 fine to Mark Cuban because what he said about the refs last night, and they're just like on fire.
Yeah, that's why they have
I
the
think
WNBA.
this is going to be. I think this is going to be either big, and they're going to find a connection back to the team or the agent somehow, or is there going to be something quiet below the surface that says, "Listen, I know you guys did this. Anything else happens again, you're going to have no draft picks till the return of Christ." Do you understand?
Yeah, I think something could happen here. But let me get to the next story. Folks, if you're living in Florida and you want to be able to have the choice of what vaccines to give to your kids, you officially have it. Florida Surgeon General announces plan to end vaccine mandates in schools. And I want you to hear the applause and how long it lasts when he announces that this is what's happening in the state of Florida. If you don't recognize him, he was the guy during COVID while everybody else was being aggressive and all this other stuff. They're like, no, we're going to keep it open. And it was kept open. They took a lot of different positions and they got a lot of heat and they ended up being right. Rob, play the clip.
But what I'm most excited about is an announcement that we're going to make, that we're making now, which is that the Florida Department of Health, in partnership with the governor, is going to be working to end all vaccine mandates in Florida law. All of them.
Listen, for how long?
All of them. Every last one of them. Yeah.
Look how long they're clapping.
I'm clapping.
Who's the audience?
Floridians.
They're all standing up.
How many
See the
people you
shadows?
think are there?
Every last
How
one.
many people you think are
200?
All of them.
Maybe a little less. Wow, they're not stopping.
No, they're not stopping. You can
Look at the
pause it.
reflection. They were all standing up too.
Yeah, so Florida announces that. By the way, DeSantis, Rob, I don't know if you have the clip of DeSantis during the joint press conference. There's a clip of him as well. If you have it, you could find it. If not, I'll just read it. He added, Joseph added, every last one of them is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery. Who am I as a government or anyone else to tell you what you should put in your body? I don't have that right. Your body is a gift from God. DeSantis stressed that informed consent is essential, stating information given to individuals where they can then make an informed decision should be the bedrock of how we function as a society. Check this out. We've had 2 kids in California, 1 in Texas, 1 in Florida. In California, there was none of these, picking and choosing. Yeah. Your kid can't go to our school. Okay, just this didn't exist. When we moved to Texas, we thought Texas would have religion exemption. Our kids were going to a Christian school. So you would think if there's any state that you would have exemption for religious exemption, it'd be state of Texas and a Christian school. They didn't. This is the time where at 11 o'clock at night, I text Bobby and we get on a call. He calls everybody for 45 minutes and we find out we can't do nothing about it. We come to Florida. Brooklyn is born here. Senna's born in Texas. We come to Florida. Jen says, babe, I went to the doctor. He asked me, what vaccines do you want her to take? Says, we're choosing not to take this and this, and we're going to wait for this. Okay, great. No problem. Moved on. I said, that's all he said? That's all he said. Perfect. Seriously? Yeah. No joke. Yeah. Great. Now it's anything and everything based on what you want to do. Tom, how important is this for families?
This is really important, and I find it shocking that the party of my body, my choice was telling all of us that we had to do things during COVID. So what happened to that, Dems? You know, my body, my choice. I think this puts power to the people. There's more research out there than there has ever been. You don't have to agree with what happened with Bobby Kennedy yesterday, RFK Jr. specifically, at the Senate hearings. You don't have to agree with either side to say, I, as a parent, want to make the choice. I want the choice here about what I do with my kid. This is very important for the basis of freedom. You have to do it. And by the way, if you take a look at these things, there's a lot of research and there's a lot of correlation out there. You know, you can't make these direct correlations saying, you know, if you smoke for 20 years, you get lung cancer, because believe it or not, some people that smoke for 20 years don't get lung cancer. But you can say there's a huge correlation. And people are saying and pushing reports that say, look, when it really comes down, we're going to have to get answers of why we have so many kids with autism. And we're going to get back into this vaccine thing and think that some of them, not all of them, but some of them are going to have correlation effects. So I think the freedom for the parents to choose is critical. And I think this is fantastic. And by the way, the state of Florida, what did they specifically say, Vinny, about, you know, COVID? They say, you know, if you want to go to the beach, UV is a hell of a killer of viruses and bacteria.
Weird.
And guess what? The largest creator of UV in the known universe is the sun. So it's like, if you want to go out on the beach, you know, you don't need to get together in a mob and party. But if you're going out there by yourself with your family or whatever, and a little bit of spacing, good grief, the sun was good for you. It turns out they were correct. So I think this is the state of Florida, in the name of freedom and choice, is doing the right thing. And I love the fact that it's the, you know, basically the Surgeon General of Florida basically coming up and saying, hey, we're going to give you the freedom and we're not doing it. I mean, this is more leadership from Ron DeSantis, who I think is a great governor. I think when you close the books on Ron DeSantis, I hope that there's not too much emphasis on the way he went through the presidential election last year. There's got to be a chapter on it, Pat. But you look at all the other ways that he has led, from during COVID to the natural disasters to the people that are on the team up there to this decision here. I'm really happy to be in a state where he's governor.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, I call him the best governor out of all the 50 states. I don't even think anybody comes close to it. He's a guy that gets done.
Not Newsom?
No, that's for you.
Okay,
but
yeah,
for
that's my guy.
We're talking solving disasters, not creating them.
DeSantis is truly the best governor we have in America, hands down. I don't think anybody comes close to the guy. Every time you're there as a family guy, as a guy that wants to be able to control the decisions for your kids, these guys just keep making the best decisions over and over again when it comes down to these types of choices.
I love it. And, and thank God and thank you for thinking about when I found you, you were here already. So that solved my get out of California and get out of that freaking nonsense from COVID. Yesterday, when RFK was on in front of Congress, one of the best ones was Senator Roger Marshall from Kansas, licensed OBGYN, by the way. He said on day number 1, they get their first jab, a hepatitis B vaccine. By the time they're 18 months, they have 18 jabs. By the time they get to be able to vote, they have 76 jabs in their...
Is this it?
This is the clip.
Oh, my God. Play this clip, Rob.
Yeah, he's legit.
It's very loud.
Is transparency. And I think when I hear you talk about transparency, I think part of that is sharing what you know, what the CDC knows with parents so that they can make decisions. Behind me,
look at that.
Yeah, I know it's going to be hard to see from there. I can barely read it. This is the current CDC recommendations for vaccines for children. On day number 1, they get their first jab, a hepatitis vaccine. By the time they're 18 months, they've had 18 jabs. By the time they get to be old enough to vote, they have 76 jabs.
Jeez.
Now,
you can read that
when
sign.
we talk, when I listen, what I hear you say is that, look, vaccines are drugs. We need a measured response and a measured, when do we use this? It's interesting that the United States has put age 65 and older for COVID vaccine. UK has chosen 75 and France 80. Obviously, scientists disagree exactly when that should or shouldn't be. You know, hepatitis B vaccine, it makes no sense to me. I've only delivered 5,000 babies, but we do a hepatitis test on every mom. By the time she delivers that baby, I know her pretty well. And if she doesn't have any risk factors, if she's not an IV drug abuser, if she's in a stable monogamous relationship, nobody at home has hepatitis, I don't know. I don't see the benefit myself in that hepatitis vaccine. Everyone's eligible for it. Everyone can get it. And my pediatricians always agree with me. And no, I'm not saying if you don't know the hepatitis status of that patient, they shouldn't get it. I'm not saying if this person's had no prenatal care, that puts them at risk for hepatitis. Can you just speak a little bit when you talk about transparency?
And by the way, Rob, thank you, Rob. Think about that. I mean, guys, it's big business. It's big pharma. And we know we talk about it a lot. That's 76 jabs. I don't know how many companies are involved. That's money going to every child out for their entire life. Boom, 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 money. And RFK, out of all the hires, besides Marco Rubio, who I think is doing a great job, RFK, man, he came in there, and all the people that are getting money from Big Pharma and all the donors yelling, Elizabeth Warren, Matt, and he's giving stats and facts about he's like, why is myocarditis up? Why are people dying? Like, what is causing all this? What is causing all this autism? And they're just furious. It was literally RFK against Big Pharma. That's what that was. Like the Big Pharma's pit bulls, and I'm so freaking proud. Out of all the choices, I think RFK is one of my favorite ones in the administration.
Yeah, and by the way, Rob, do you have some of the clip? This is the exchange with Elizabeth Warren that things got heat. By the way, after a certain point, it's hard to listen to this. Yeah. It's actually hard to listen to that, but let's watch. Which one would you like to start off with,
I think
Rob?
Elizabeth Warren's good.
Go with that one. Go for it.
Job. You're going like this. That is, you promised that you would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. You just changed the classification of the COVID vaccine.
I'm not taking them away from people, Senator.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Well, most Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacy for free. Most Americans will be able to get it from their pharmacy for free.
The question is, everyone who wants it, that was your promise.
I never promised that I was going to recommend products with which there is no indication.
When you said...
And I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
Did you hold up a big sign saying that you were lying when you said that? Because you are the one who said you would not take them away. Now, Senator Kennedy...
I'm not taking them away from anybody.
Secretary...
You want me to indicate a product for which there is no clinical data?
That's the question.
Senator,
is that what you want?
Secretary Kennedy, you said you wouldn't, and now you did.
I'm not taking them away. Everybody can get access to them.
She's a pharma pawn.
Oh, and he said it. He said you took $855,000 from the pharma.
Yeah.
By the way, and she didn't even pause to address it. It's just like, skip right by it.
Do you think the Big Pharma, like people in the company, let's say it's Pfizer, do you think when they know this hearing is coming, they talk to her and they say, hey, say X, Y, and Z and do this, or does she already have her marching orders, Tom? Like she should already know that she's going to fight for them, or do they give her like some coaching?
Well, marching orders.
Is this total 2024 pharma money to Elizabeth Warren?
I looked it up this morning so we could look at it right now. I brought some receipts. $388 million in 2024. And look at 23 and 22. When the COVID vaccine was, the debate was shifting as to maybe this stuff wasn't right. Maybe this stuff is causing heart failure. Maybe this thing's starting other thing. $388 million food in. And ladies and gentlemen, you have pharmaceutical research manufacturer, lobbying group, pharmaceutical care management society, lobbying group, Amgen, company number 1, 11.7 million. Roche, company number 2. Merck and Pfizer, vaccine makers, 9.1 million, right together. There they are, folks. And now let's go look over at those who received the money, Rob. We have another link of the people that have actually received the money. There is a separate link.
Hang on.
Yeah, while he's looking for that, go ahead.
And basically, one of the guys, Bennett, that was coming unglued, received very little pharma money last year, but over the course of his campaigns, he was like number 1.
Wow.
And so, come on. And Elizabeth Warren, and you found the tweet where the guy had dug up open secrets. Yeah. And this is Mike. Guys,
Mike,
we know.
Mike Benz posted a photo.
Did you send that to Rob?
I sent it to Rob.
Rob with the red arrow? Show
I sent it to Rob. This is Mike Benz posted this, and it's Big Pharma paid what he's claiming or what this says from Open Secrets.
Here we go.
Look
Now
how much
this
money they gave Elizabeth Warren.
Now let's look at it, not just everybody on the lobbying, Pat. Now let's go look at who got it.
Yep. Wow.
Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren. Wow.
Tim Kaine. Weird.
And did you see Bernie Sanders was sitting right next to her?
And you know what the trouble thing is, Tom? And RFK
are they mostly Democrats here is what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I still think they all take it.
No. Raphael Warnock, Georgia.
No, he's definitely a Democrat.
Warnock, yeah,
Wait.
for sure. But you know what the problem is, Tom? Besides this,
I actually don't think this is a left or right thing. I think everybody takes money.
They all
So
take
I don't want to play this a.
But you know what
that's exactly
I know where
right.
you were going.
That's exactly right.
No, you're right. But
Pat's
trust
right.
me,
This is
both
everybody.
of them. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, they're all taking.
No.
Oh, bro, they're all taking it.
This
but-
is just last year, 23
By
to
the way,
2024.
this makes APAC look like a small checking account.
Yep.
What Big
is
Pharma
ridiculous.
can you put up how much Big Pharma gave lobbying last year, Rob? They're number one. Do you know by how much? Let's just kind of take a look at this.
Was it 400? 300?
388.
$388 million. He just showed in the chart. Show
Number
Rob that chart.
one.
Of course.
Number one
they call it
above
Big
every.
Pharma.
I think insurance is number 7 at 107 million. We just looked at this yesterday, Rob, with Dr. Peter Goche.
388. By the way, they call it Big Pharma for a reason.
Yeah.
They're big.
But I tell
And
you,
this
man,
whole time, I thought
guys,
that
if they stop the advertisement, and they change the game with that on the advertisement side, where you can't advertise no more, only 2 countries, us and New Zealand. That's the kind of stuff that RFK Jr. is going to need, the type of security that only a few people have. If he prevents companies from advertising, CNN's out of business.
Yep.
Wow.
Fox is hurting too.
Mainstream media companies that are taking all that money, they're going to be like, what are you talking about?
Yep.
It's catastrophic. So imagine some of the donors that supported Trump. They're like, hey, listen, that guy right there talking about no longer allowing us to advertise, we're not happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
You better believe Trump's camp is getting that call.
Oh, for sure.
And by the way, the sports leagues get big checks from ESPN, who is able to write that check because of all the advertising dollars. So if pharma is off advertising, they say that basically the salary cap, the thing I read, Pat, goes down 30%. Salary caps have to go down in sports 30% because without pharma, ESPN can't write the $1 billion check.
I know. So to me, I'm glad he's there. Adam, your thoughts on this whole thing here?
Well, I'm glad that you showed the numbers here because if you listen to the people on X, it would lead you to believe that APAC runs our government. But the reality is Big Pharma, I don't know if they run our government, but they certainly own our bodies. They said how many vaccines does the average kid have?
76.
76 before you're 18. So you got, zombie kids walking out there, and it's not like Big Pharma would ever try to monetize our bodies or anything like that. We didn't learn that during COVID when Pfizer and J&J and the rest of the crew made gazillions. So,
or turn the other way where you become obese and then sell your diabetes drugs.
The biggest problem I have
life.
is that vaccines have been labeled or vilified as being bad. No, mandates are what's bad. No. Not giving somebody a choice is what's bad. Florida, ironically, they're allowing you to have a choice when it comes to vaccines, but it has one of the lowest my body, my choice abortion rulings, 6 weeks, which is draconian in my opinion. But if you look at what America is regarding vaccines, this is basically an 80-20 issue that has shifted over the last few years. 80% of America believes in vaccines. 80% of Floridians believes in vaccines. But we've seen a clear partisan divide since COVID and the vaccine mandates where it's closer to 50-50 on the Republican side of things. So, but let's not pretend that eradicating smallpox wasn't a good thing, or making sure that kids don't have polio isn't a good thing. There used to be millions of deaths from these types of things. Now there's next to nothing. So choice is a good thing, but let's not vilify vaccines as if they're all bad.
Well, the debate is forcing. On Americans, number one. And then the other half of the debate is we all know what happened with the COVID vaccines. They didn't go through the extended trials that all the other vaccines.
It was called Operation Warp Speed, Tom. Yeah. Don't go there.
But you want to know something deeper though? Like, by the way, and it's not just Big Pharma. Like, I mean, it is Big Pharma.
Immediately we forgot about that.
But look at the people that are aligned in these. Look at what some of the CDC people have. Like, when I take like Trump and RFK mainly, they're not battling just politics. These are some disgusting, I believe, demonic forces that are kind of behind it. And, you know, the big pharma's cash cow is on the line. Like, look at, you guys, this guy just quit. Pat, did you see this? Dr. Dimitri Deskaskalakis, whatever. He's a self-proclaimed Satanist with a bondage fetish who he thinks calling women mothers is outdated, and he wants 6-month-old babies injected on government. This guy.
And who is this guy?
This guy was a top dog at the CDC. A big guy. He just, Adam, you want that guy in charge of telling you what's going to go in your body or not?
I need more information.
Well, that's the guy. That's doctor. He just
doesn't seem like I want to take advice from him.
He just quit because
a Satanist?
Because they refused to bow down to the agenda, and he stormed down. He claims science is under attack, and he's smearing RFK. He's crying that Kennedy might delay the hepatitis B vaccine at birth, which I agreed should be done. And then Rand Paul actually came out, Pat, and he said, and I quote, there's no medical reason to give newborns hepatitis B vaccine if the mother is not infected. All mothers who deliver in a hospital are tested. This scientist's fetish, he's talking about this doctor, for vaccines is not supported by the data. So what would make that guy want to keep pushing and keep yelling and quit? Why, Adam? Why would he do it? Because he's, to me, my opinion, he's getting paid by somebody to tell him to say what he's saying.
Benny, all I know is one thing.
What?
Trust the science.
Yeah, well, that guy, I don't want.
We know that.
I don't want that guy telling me what to put on my kid.
Big Pharma. Elizabeth Warren allegedly is on her 400th booster this week.
Yeah, she's probably taking one right now.
Yeah.
By the way, good for Bobby, RFK Jr., for doing what he's doing. And we hope he goes all the way through with what he's challenging the other side to do. Now, let's go to another person. Guys, when you get an invitation by a dignitary, what should you say? You should say, thank you, I'm on my way, let's have a meeting. But not if your name is Zelenskyy.
Uh-oh.
Zelenskyy got an invitation from a man named Putin.
Oh, really?
Putin invites Zelenskyy to Moscow for supposed peace talks. This guy's trying to have a peace talk. And Putin on Wednesday claimed he never refused a meeting with Zelenskyy and invited him to Moscow, according to Russian state-owned news outlet TASS. If Zelenskyy is ready for a meeting, let him come to Moscow, Putin said. Is this it, Rob?
It is. It's in Russian, but there are subtitles.
I'll translate. Go ahead.
Go ahead, PBD.
Если эта встреча хорошо
подготовлена
и будет вести к каким-то
позитивным,
возможным
results.
Кстати говоря, Дональд попросил меня, если возможно, провести такую встречу.
I said yes.
Ну, в конце концов, если Зеленский готов, пусть приезжает в Москву. Какая встреча состоится.
Хорошо, молодец, Putin. Gabzhvaitsi. That's great. So let me finish this thing. What happens there? But Zelenskyy, he's got different. He's not. I don't know. This is Zelenskyy. Go for it.
American partners told us that Putin invited me to Moscow. You know what I think? When you don't want to have a meeting, so what do you have to do? You have to invite me to Moscow. That's why I think that Russia started to talk about meeting. That's not a bad thing. But right now, we do not see any wish on their part to stop this war, to finish this war. And the meeting...
Would you go? Would you go, Tom, if you're Zelenskyy? Adam, would you go?
Are you crazy? This is like a wolf inviting a sheep to dinner and being like, yeah, come to dinner. Yeah, you're on the menu for dinner.
But let me
hold on.
Right now,
hold on for a second.
I disagree.
There's no chance that Zelenskyy is showing up to Moscow.
If Trump is with them,
Russian autocrats, or you have Russian
Rule
oligarchs
16C
who
of the
conveniently
UN
find
code,
themselves
Adam.
jumping out of windows just for fun. What do you think they're going to do to Zelenskyy?
But Adam,
they are not going to assassinate Zelenskyy.
Putin is trolling Trump at this point.
But hold on, by the way, did you notice how he called him Donald? He didn't call him Mr. President. He didn't call him President Trump. He said Donald. They're boys. Think about this. So look at the contrast.
So you're looking at that as like a homie thing?
No, well, I mean,
I look at that as like a sign of disrespect.
No, they're homies, bro. He called him Vladimir the other day. Listen,
they're homies.
Vladimir Putin is a gangster. Okay, plain and simple.
Are you saying gangster in a good way or a bad way?
I mean, he's a Adam. You make it like you want me to love him. No, you're acting like I love him.
No, but a lot of people do love him.
Vladimir Putin is a gangster. Guess who the other guy is? A ballerina, dancing, shaking actor.
Stand up when you do that dance.
I can't because my
stand up when you do that dance.
But there's a difference. And to be
honest,
Adam,
a seizure?
If Trump is there, They're not going to assassinate. Bro, you know what that would do? I get it. They're at war.
What are they going to do? Have more war? What are they going to do?
What, you go fat more?
Yeah.
No. Do you know how easy this is?
They want to kill.
Zelensky shows up in Moscow.
Guys, you're going back.
He's
and
not
forth.
leaving Moscow.
Let's make this more rational.
Terrorists.
If you're Zelensky, all Zelensky has to say is, okay, tell you what, Macron will come with me. I will come talk to you. Macron will join me. We'll fly in the morning.
Oh, Macron's going to intimidate him. That's
No.
You're bringing Brigitte. Now you're bringing
Brigitte's going to show me.
Hang on, I want to see. I want to hear Tom's point.
No. Listen, if
Bring Trudeau while
Zelensky's
you're at it
worried,
and
he
have a
only
team
needs
of
to
manly
bring
men.
one person. Bring van der Leyen from the EU. Bring Macron. Whatever.
I'd rather bring in Vanderlei Silva and fight them.
And then say, look, we'll fly in the morning, we'll have lunch, we'll have our talk in the afternoon, then we'll leave.
I'm not eating none of that food. Yeah. I'm not eating none of that food.
Okay, you don't have to eat. You bring your own
Dumbest
food.
concept I've ever heard.
You want caviar?
No. Look.
Mercury poisoning.
Putin is not going to assassinate Zelensky.
It's like Hamas inviting Bibi for lunch. Yeah, just come on in.
No, it's
come
not.
on in
You
to
know
our
it's
lair.
not. See now
to
you're
our tunnel lair.
Now you're doing stand up.
So
Come on, dude.
you wouldn't do well. That's not good. But you wouldn't do.
Listen, there's one person at this table we don't want doing comedy.
Zelensky calls me, Mr. President, do you think it's safe for me to go? Go ahead and go. Take van der Leyen with you. Take Macron with you. Go in there, fly in, meet with them for 4 hours, have your talks, and leave.
Yeah.
I said, but I think you can make some progress here. It says,
would you do it, Pat?
This is
if you're Zelensky.
Well, but it's a tough answer.
Okay.
Let me explain to you why it's a tough answer. The reason why it's a tough answer is because if I'm Zelensky, I wouldn't have behaved the way I did at the White House, and I wouldn't have done what he did. So if it's me doing the way I know I would have negotiated and managed the relationships, diplomacy, I would have gone. No problem. I'm going. And we'd have the meeting because I believe it shows fearlessness to me. It shows an element of, what do you want me to do? You want me to come here and everybody told me not to do it? I'm still coming to you. It actually shows an element of what Trump did when he was on CNN every day in 2015, 2016. You know what happened at the end? Do you know what happened at the end? So here's what happened. Every time CNN invited him, he went. Every single time. And in the last 3 months of the election, they realized the Clinton camp is like, stop allowing him to come. You're helping him. Stop it.
Wow.
So then they stopped taking him.
Yeah.
But Trump's like, yeah, what do you want to talk about? Go ahead, ask me.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about? He's showing up. So he was like, man, versus Obama's like, no, I'm not going to. Obama's done one Bill O'Reilly interview and one Bill Maher.
Yeah.
He's been on Bill Maher and O'Reilly one time. Tell me how many times Trump's done 60 Minutes, CNN, Fox, MSNBC. How many times?
Every time.
So I don't know if I'm that. I'm showing up, but again, it's a very. Remember, Trump went to North Korea. Humberto's right.
I love that.
Trump went to North Korea. He walked on
And
to
shook his
North
hand and
Korea.
slapped the shoulder a little bit.
But who gets power there? Does that make Kim Jong-un look good?
Makes Trump look fantastic.
I'm not afraid. Let's go. Let's talk. Exactly. So I think there's an element of that happening, but I also think Putin's playing games.
Of course.
Which I'm not gonna.
Would you eat anything? Would you eat anything at that meeting?
Dude, I'm gonna be
vodka and snack?
on the longest. What do you call it? Fast ever.
Oh yeah,
what's the longest you ever fasted? 3 days when I was in Russia. What did you eat?
Nothing.
The 3 protein bars I brought with me.
And I protected them the whole time.
3 days.
I protected them.
You land the plane. You eat a meal. You go 5 hours.
Here's what I want to say to you. We had a trip coming up to Russia. Now I know the answer. Who's not going to go?
Wow.
Yes, me.
Oh, Adam's not going.
Adam's not going to go.
I'm in the front. I'm with you.
Okay. Have fun.
What are you scared about?
You and Tucker Carlson go have a great time
guess
there.
what? You're scared
Let me explain something to you
You're scared
in
of boogeyman.
plain Russian language so you
scared of boogeyman.
naive, useful idiots can understand the words that come out
My
of
grandmother,
my mouth.
grandfather from Kiev.
This is where he turns the acting
Let me
things and
explain
say,
something to you.
Watch this.
If you want to know what's going to happen to Zelensky, look no further than who was formerly Russia, Putin's biggest rival and opposition was a guy named Alexei Navalny. This guy was poisoned multiple times, and he was such a gangster that he returned to Russia to appear in court to deal with his charges. And guess what? He was put in a prison cell in no man's land in Siberia, and he was found guilty of, whatever they did, and he was sentenced to 20 years in jail. Now, 20 minutes later, he found himself dead in jail. So if that's what they did to a Russian critic, Putin did, who's a Russian, proud Russian, what are you going to do to the president of Ukraine that's at war with you? To me, this is super naive, and you guys sound like useful Putin idiot puppets.
Okay, Adam, everything that you just said, Adam, stop.
Okay, Adam.
Hold on.
What are you two girls in the corner crying together? You two little muppets over there, team up against
everything that you
Go
just
ahead.
said.
Vinny, you and your dad fight against it. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, you got
Let's go, Vinny. You and your old dad. Let's go.
Oh, my gosh, you're
I'm
regressing,
defending
you little
democracy.
bitch.
You guys are defending Putin. Go ahead, you Putin apologists.
Okay, hold on, Adam. Ready for this?
Look at this.
Adam, let me
Notice
add
how Pat's not talking.
Nostradamusburg, you know, so it's like,
Adam, let me add this. Are you ready? Adam, look at me. Adam, don't look there. Adam, we throw this into the mix.
Go ahead.
Adam, Russia, we go.
All of us. If you dance, I'm in.
No, ready for this?
Yes,
Rob,
I'm not even looking.
Rob, make that big. Go
ahead.
And she comes, and she's there.
Yes, I go to Russia right now. I impregnate her.
Look at how fast your story changed.
Well, we tricked you. It's a guy. So anyway.
Why do I need to go to, if you know
transgender.
anything about Florida, why do I need to go to Russia when I can go to Sunny Isles?
But look at that hat. You don't like that hat? That hat is awesome.
That hat will have a bullet hole in the back of the head.
Spies like
Adam,
us.
let's stop. And let me ask you an honest question.
Tom, I'm just over you right now.
What do you think happens if Zelenskyy goes there and he's assassinated?
Numbers are going to
on the
scream.
trip?
What's going to happen?
Oh, come on.
Anyway,
Adam, you don't want to answer it. You don't want to engage. You don't even want to debate. You're scared. Don't be a little child.
Oh, shots fired.
If there's something I'm scared
Come
of,
off the bench
it's
and
the
play.
biz doc.
You know? So honestly,
don't hit me with a calculator.
Zelenskyy goes to
Tom.
Russia and he is assassinated.
Yeah.
What happens to Putin and the rest of the world's reaction?
They probably go to war. Like they
Like,
currently are.
like blow up Russia? So why would they do that?
It starts with economic sanctions and it ends with isolation. It gets worse.
Well,
and they're in the middle of a war of attrition.
Let's just see what happens when Zelenskyy doesn't go to Russia.
All right, let's go to the next story.
Okay.
Because we already know there's not the way we're going right now. I think forget about going to Russia or going to frickin' Ukraine. It's a bad place to be in Fort Lauderdale at an airport, whether you're Canadian or whether you're Jewish. Something's going to happen here.
That's true.
Between the Ellsworths and the Sosnick. Something could happen. All right.
You will need
Let's
to
talk
exist,
about
Tom.
somebody else who has decided to side with Turkey. And that's none other than the Prime Minister of Armenia, Pashinyan, joins Erdogan in objecting to American genocide recognition. Okay, Pashinyan questioned the value of international recognition of the Armenian genocide, aligning with Turkish President Erdogan's denialist stance, telling Armenian journalists last week that Netanyahu's statement had nothing to do with the Armenians' interest, and asking, what have we gained from the recognition of the Armenian genocide by dozens of countries? He further revealed questioning foreign leaders on their recognition motives, prompting criticism for undermining decades of Armenian efforts to publicize the 1915-1923 Ottoman massacre of 1.5 million Armenians. Harut Sasunyan, publisher of the California Courier, argued Pashinyan should demand justice, including restitution and return of Western Armenian territory, stating Pashinyan is thus actively undermining the pursuit of justice for the Armenian cause. The controversy arose after the Armenian Assyrian blogger, guys, I'm a blogger now.
Yeah, you're a blogger. You're downgraded.
I'm a blogger, PBD, Patrick Bet-David, pressed Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on August 27, 2025, about Israel's failure to recognize the Armenian, Assyrian, and the Greek genocide, with Netanyahu falsely claiming, in fact, I think we have. I think the Knesset passed a resolution to that effect before being pushed and saying, but the prime ministers never say it, and he said, I just did. Here you go. So, Armenian prime minister saying that. I wonder what the Armenian prime minister said when President Biden accepted and announced. When did President Biden, Rob, recognize the Armenian genocide?
That was pretty
when did he say it? 2 years ago?
No, I want to say 2021, if I could guess.
Okay, 4 years ago, whatever the timeline was when he said it. How did Armenians receive that? Even guys who didn't vote for Biden, what did they say? Hey, we gave him love.
Yeah, I was right. 2021. It was one of his first acts in office. It was like, wow.
You're right. And it was fairly quickly coming out. And it's not like he did it before running. He did it. He announced it. Boom. And then look what Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan said. He praised it as a strong affirmation of human rights. Meanwhile, Turkey strongly objected, warning it could cause U.S.-Turkey relations. I'm curious, Pashinyan, how come you didn't take that same position with this one? Oh, I got it. Because now you're doing a deal with Azerbaijan and you're siding with the people who actually committed the genocide on your people that you're now the prime minister with. So what if Netanyahu praises it or not? So what if he recognizes it or not? So what, whether you like him or not? What are you afraid of? It's another world leader that has never done it that is now finally doing it. Isn't that validation for you? Are you concerned about that? Is this something that you worry about? Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of people that are watching this, 2% of the audience that's watching this is like, well, how about the genocide that he's committing and all this other stuff? Let's isolate this issue. Those are two separate topics that you want to go to. You guys can go and, join them out with that conversation. I'm isolating this one here. It's very interesting what Pashinyan is doing with his handling on a situation like this. I'd love to sit down with him and ask him why he would take that position. Why would you be so welcoming of Biden's recognition but not Netanyahu's? Well, because Netanyahu's playing politics. They're all playing politics. You think Biden's not playing politics? You think all the other countries that claim they are not playing politics? You think you're not playing politics? You think Trump's not playing politics? You think Zelensky's not playing? You think Putin's not? Who's in a state leader not playing politics? Tell me one that's not playing politics. Who? Everybody's playing politics. But if something gets recognized and it's given, receive it for the people that wanted you to receive it. By the way, you have to realize, guys, within a span of a week, my life's been very weird. For one day, we have the most like-dislike ratio interview. They call it the greatest Netanyahu interview ever done, okay? Record-breaking, the greatest Netanyahu interview ever done.
Incredible.
And the like-dislike ratio, astronomical. Never seen anything like this. Humberto's favorite interview of all time.
Loves it.
So that's that part when that takes place. Now, I got the most death threats ever. Most, to the point that we have to have certain things that we have to make adjustments for, but that's that. Week later is Jubilee. And Jubilee, the greatest interview ever done to defend capitalism. What an incredible, spectacle of sitting there doing that. Either way, they have two different purposes. But on the fact that a guy like Netanyahu recognized the Armenian genocide, I got a lot of Armenians that say, I don't need him to recognize it. I don't need him to recognize it, are the same people who hated Biden, Trump supporters, that says, I don't need Biden to recognize it. Stop with your, what do you call it?
Self-righteous.
Holier
than thou.
Holier than thou. I don't want to receive that. Stop. Okay. He said it. It's documented. It's there now. And now let's see what Pashinyan is going to do with it. Some tells me Pashinyan is very scared of Turkey and very worried. And his diplomacy, the event that happened with Trump helping him out, at least for now, he may be protected under Trump, but is Armenia going to be protected under whoever the president's going to be after Trump? I don't know. Are you showing that kind of strength and diplomacy where your people are safe under your leadership? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Anyways, I don't know if you guys have any one of you guys have any. Go for it. Go ahead, Adam.
Well, and I don't have a horse in this race other than I'm a believer in the truth. And if I'm Armenian, this is a complete slap in the face to any Armenian that cares about the Armenian genocide. And I'm sure we're going to have some stats that we can pull up about what the Ottoman Empire did to their neighbors. If you want to talk about genocide, the Ottoman Empire, the Turks, they're at the top of the list. So everyone throws that G word out there, for 50,000 more or less Hamas fighters or civilians. We're talking millions of people that died, not thousands of years ago, not centuries ago, 100+ years ago. And all these people died at the hands of the Ottoman Turks. So now you have Erdogan of Turkey calling Bibi of Israel the genocider. Look in the mirror, big dog. So it's pretty disgusting to me how, when you point in the mirror, there's three fingers pointing right back at you. There's a complete slap in the face. I'm not involved in Armenian Azerbaijan politics, but it would appear to me that this guy is nothing more than a Turkish puppet at this point. Take the compliment, take the acknowledgement, and move on. There's a show called The Young Turks that Cenk and Anna run. what are you? You're giving a shout out to the Armenian genocide? Is that what the Young Turks is doing? To me, this is the equivalent of Bibi downplaying the Holocaust. So I don't know what the Pashinyan is thinking, but why don't you stand on the side of your people, not on the side of the genociders?
There you have it. Okay, let's go to the next story here. Page 5. Vinny, I'm coming to you and Adam on this one here.
Oh, yeah.
Trump looking to ban transgender people from having a gun and declaring them mentally ill. Department of Justice considering a proposal to restrict transgender Americans from possessing firearms prompted by a mass shooting at a Minneapolis Catholic church by a 23-year-old trans woman, with a Justice Department official stating to CNN, to ensure that mentally ill individuals suffering from gender dysphoria are unable to obtain firearms while they are unstable and unwell. This move, described as preliminary by CNN, contradicts the Trump administration's Second Amendment advocacy, as Attorney General Mamdani wrote earlier this year. For too long, Second Amendment, which establishes the fundamental individual right of American to keep and bear arms, has been treated as a second-class right. No more, and it's a policy of this Department of Justice to use its full might to protect the Second Amendment right of its law-abiding citizens. The proposal builds on Trump's directives targeting transgender rights, including an executive order erasing federal recognition of trans people, restricting gender-affirming health care, banning trans athletes from women's sports, and forcing out thousands of trans service members, with Defense Department guidance stating the medical and surgical mental health constraints on individuals who have a current diagnosis or history of or exhibit symptoms consistent with gender dysphoria are incompatible with the high mental and physical standard necessary for military service. This is from the Independent, by the way. Vinny, your thoughts on this story?
And listen, you know me, you know how many guns I have. I'm pro Second Amendment. I'm all for it. But at the same time, when they're saying they're evaluating options, these are people that it's a trend that keeps happening, okay? It's not like we're making this up out of thin air. These same people, the transgender, non-binary, whatever, they're loaded up on SSRIs, which you guys know are antidepressants. They're supposed to calm you down, okay? But the majority of the time, especially when you have a mental disorder, I don't know, something happens where they go over the edge and they just love shooting innocent kids in churches and schools. It's weird. But you're not supposed to say anything because you're transphobic. You hate the LGBTQ community, which is BS. Okay, and gender dysphoria, okay, is right there in the DSM, which is the Diagnostic for Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, the book that doctors use to define mental illness. It's in there, okay? You have a mental illness. You're sick in the head, okay? And if you got serious stress over your identity, okay, and it's diagnosed as a disorder, that's not... it's not my opinion. It's a medical fact, all right? And then you take someone like that, mentally disabled, gone, all right? You pump them with freaking brain-altering drugs, and then we wonder, hey, and then give them a gun, and then we go, wait a minute, what? Why would they go and shoot a bunch of kids that are praying in the church? And I love the shock factor, Pat, when people are like, how could we never saw this happening? Rob, if you could find this, they have a video of the transgender shooter that just happened. He's in a store with a ponytail looking for bullets and guns. They just released it yesterday. So even the Department of Justice is admitting and they said a pattern of violence tied to mental health and substance abuse, but they won't say the obvious. The common thread is right in front of us. All right. And this isn't about, hey, I want to keep telling people this. They always say, hate, you hate. No. It's about public safety. All right. And if you're mentally unstable and you're medicated, okay, and to the point of psychosis, I don't think they should be anywhere near a firearm. This is the guy that just shot up. He looks kind of like a boy, but in the back, the hair. I mean, my hair kind of looked like that a week ago. But yeah. But look, he's just casually
What's
in
he
there.
doing?
He's looking for he's looking for all the ammo.
This is who?
This is the shooter from last week. The one that shot up the.
This is the Minneapolis shooter.
The one that was in the apartment, his apartment, recording and everything. He doesn't look like. Yeah, he looks completely different. Look, a place for well-being. That's definitely not the place that you're at right now, bro. But the truth has to come out, and that's the truth. I don't think, Adam, what do you think? These guys, there's like SSRIs, antidepressants, dealing with transgender. You don't know if you're a boy or you're a girl, and then they want to give you a gun.
Yeah. Well, we certainly have a problem in this country. I don't know if it's a gun problem. I don't know if it's a mental health problem. I don't know if it's a depression problem. I don't know if it's a drugs problem. I don't know if it's a decaying of our people problem. But at the collectivist, we have a massive problem. And it's reminiscent of exactly what Trump said when we had an Islamic terrorism problem in 2016, 2017. And then Trump said this about the Muslim ban. Do you remember this line?
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on.
And then he says this, we have no choice. We have no choice. No choice.
We have no choice.
No choice.
We have no choice.
I don't know what the exact laws are. Second Amendment people might agree, might disagree. There's a clear understanding that school shootings are done by trans people.
Period. A lot of them.
A lot of them.
Recently.
Not even allegedly.
No, it's happening.
Literally.
Yeah.
Right? So until we figure out
pattern.
what the hell is going on.
It's not dramatic, but there is a pattern.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So until we figure out
Especially
what
in
the
the
hell
recent
is going
ones.
on, people with massive mental health disorders probably shouldn't have guns.
That's on Adam. If you have one, you're not supposed to have a gun. On top of that, you're on drugs that are known to make people crazy. Not only suicidal. Listen, if you're already dealing with transgender, gender dysphoria, whatever it is, and God help them, I hope they, instead of having a society pat them on the back and say, you go live your truth, help these people. Find out what the hell is going on in here. What happened to their youth? What happened? Did they go through trauma? But no, now you know that they have a mental disorder. They're on these drugs, Adam, that are known to make you go crazy. And then you're going to give them a gun? And I know what the Second Amendment people are going to say. No, everybody should be allowed to have a gun. I agree. But if you have a mental problem, a mental disorder that the Department of Justice and the DSM has already classified, why would you ever give anybody that has a mental disorder a gun? You're not in your right mind. I don't get it. And then how many more of these?
So you're for this. You're for this.
I'm for transgender. They already are mentally messed up. If you're a transgender, you have gender dysphoria. You have a mental disorder.
Is transgender right now, somebody who is transgender, is that considered mentally ill? Is
gender
that
dysphoria, you mean?
Yes. Is gender dysphoria considered mentally ill?
I don't know.
Yes. By the DSM, the Diagnostic of Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, the doctors use it for mental illness. Gender dysphoria is right. Gender dysphoria is in
changed in recent years. DSM-5 is listed gender dysphoria as a mental disorder.
No, it says it's not considered a mental illness.
It says it is.
No, Adam.
Being transgender.
Gender dysphoria as a mental disorder.
The older version did identify it as a mental disorder.
And they changed it.
In 2013, they replaced it, and now it's not considered
so now we're identifying as mental disorders?
So it's not. Okay.
Well, keep going down, Rob. 2022 update.
So the WHO removed it.
Yeah, who was in charge in 2022?
Okay. Well, guess what? So then it's not a mental disorder. Okay, today it's not. So if it's not, Vinny, the same way, what did Trump do with Aragua? What did he do with them? Terrorist organization.
Yes. Yeah.
What did he do with many of these guys? Terrorist organization. If he qualifies this, and maybe RFK qualifies this, then for me it makes sense. For me, believe it or not, I also think anybody taking SSRIs, anybody taking them shouldn't have a gun.
Anybody?
Anybody.
Well,
I'm telling you right now, for me, anybody. Because when you see what that chemical reaction does to you, the side effects you're seeing, what it causes you to do, suicidal side effects, suicidal reaction. In many cases, they tell you in the box on what could happen if you take these. What is if you got suicidal tendencies?
You don't care about
if you're willing to kill yourself, do you think you're not willing to kill other people?
Great point.
No, I think. By the way, and that's a controversial statement I'm making.
It is. Yeah.
But all I'm saying to you is, if you're going there, then somebody else may come in and say, "Why don't we go there?" Because one can't go without the other. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Very slippery slope.
And just to make the point,
you got some hardcore 2A people that do not agree with what you guys are saying.
I know.
And by the way,
because I think legally, hear me out. I think legally, fact check this. If you have just a basic mental problem, you have depression, you have anxiety, you could definitely own a gun in this country. That's not even an issue.
Okay, there's two things here. So let's go to receipts. And I'm going to give you unemotional receipts. So whenever you hear the NRA talking about 4473, so if you look up NRA 4473, and it's everywhere. They lobby on this quite a bit. That is a form that you must voluntarily fill out And I'm going to go to insurance, and you're going to back me up on something. Adam.
Okay, don't be so sure about that.
Yeah, no, you will. Okay. And 4473 is a form that you have to voluntarily fill out that said, I'm on psychological medication. Once you fill that out, the guy at this counter says, well, if you're voluntarily telling me that, I cannot sell you a gun because you're voluntarily telling me that you're under care and you've got this. So go away. There's no check. Whereas if you want life insurance and says, are you taking any drugs? No, I'm not. Sign here because we're also going to do a script check, a med check.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait. I'm happy to give you life insurance, but the price is going to change because you've been on nicotine patches for 3 years. When did you quit smoking? And you're on thyroid medication. So you can still get life insurance, but the price is going to go up because of your risk factors. Why didn't you tell the truth? We can tell. They don't do that to buy a gun. And so, yeah. Yep. So the ATF doesn't want 4473 to become a check because they want people to be able to get the guns. That's bad. On the other hand, I have to call the local sheriff and say, my cousin, Adam,
is batshit crazy.
Had a breakdown because of a recent divorce. He has two guns at home. I don't want him to harm himself, and I think he needs to get his head together. Sheriff David is dispatched to say, hey, Adam, there's a concern from one of your...
Hey, Pat!
Do you have firearms here? Yes, I own 2 pistols. He tells the truth. Yep. I know. I show the serial numbers here and your permit number. We need to take them. We're not confiscating them, but we are going to impound them, and then you need to go to court and talk about this because a family member is concerned about you. Thank you for cooperating. I'm taking your weapons. So that's the way it works. You have to have a family member turn you in and it happen, or you have to voluntarily do this. My attitude is I believe that if life insurance automatically does script check, then why shouldn't a gun purchase do the same script check?
I fully agree.
This voluntarily...
If I right now try to sell you an insurance policy and the insurance company finds out you're on Prozac, or Zoloft.
And I lied on the last page.
If they find out, okay, Rob, can you pull up, do life insurance companies underwrite somebody taking Prozac
or Zoloft?
Do life insurance companies
they don't, right?
Underwrite those taking, and what do you call those medicines? Prozac,
SSRIs,
in a different way. What does it say?
Medication alone is not disqualified, but it will make it more expensive.
It is going to make you more expensive. So check this out. So if life insurance companies automatically see it as a risk, and that's life insurance, why wouldn't somebody that's selling a gun
you sign and give them permission to look at public records of your prescriptions?
If Trump and them are going to go this direction, well, you got to go full. Right? It's like, don't say that.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't go full, Pat. Don't do it.
Yeah,
ain't nobody go full.
No, because Tropic Thunder, you're done if you do something like that, right? So to me, Tom, for a guy that I'm loaded.
I'm 2A.
And I am like, go with this.
Yep.
I am. I'm go because life insurance companies.
Advocates.
Right.
It's like
so why don't you do that? And by the way, how quickly do we do it? How quickly do life insurance companies do that check?
Very quickly.
There are instant underwriting and accelerated underwriting now, Vinny, that'll happen. I'll be sitting at your house. I fill it out on my iPad. It goes in there.
Tom, we're going to lose the audience if we start correcting people on how to fill out a life insurance application.
No. Okay. I'm just saying it is quick. It doesn't take weeks. It's very quick. They can practically do it at the point of sale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right,
you go to Best Buy to get an iPhone, you can do a credit check in 8 seconds.
Tom, we're going to go to the next story, and the next story is about Venezuela. This is what we're going to go to.
Oh my
President Trump praises military strike on Venezuela drug boat. And what does Venezuela do? First, let me read that. Rob, do you have the video right there?
I do.
If you can play this clip first and then play the other one. This is getting very interesting. So watch this one here, folks. This is what President Trump is praising. Look. Earmuffs.
Look at all the bags of drugs in the back. Probably some guns. Let's just be honest with each other. Change the angle.
Minding their own business.
Yeah.
They're just kind of
nice little boat ride.
Ocean. Yeah. Hey, here's a cigar.
Heading to Miami.
Let's change the
see
angle.
Some friends.
Okay. All right, incoming.
Bye. You know what? That's why you should never smoke in bed.
Done. By the way,
those guys all die?
Oh, yeah.
By the way, do we know who was on the boat?
11 individuals they claim are drug smugglers from Venezuela.
So
they were
now 44 partial
who are now
individuals.
in the agua.
Say it again.
They were apparently, according to reports, they were driving the boat at night, dark, with no lights, to try and be, incognito. So they were definitely up to something suspicious.
Okay, so they were definitely up to something suspicious. So President Trump praises that. Was there a tweet on that or no? Is
A
the
video.
same? Okay, go for it.
Come out, and when you leave the room, you'll see that we just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat. And you'll be seeing that, and you'll be reading about that. It just happened moments ago, and our great general, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who's been so incredible, including what took place in Iran, knocking out potential nuclear power for a long time to come. I think within a month they would have had it if we didn't do what we did. But he gave us a little bit of a briefing, and you'll see. And there's more where that came from. We have a lot of drugs pouring into our country, coming in for a long time.
Can pause it right
and
there.
we just...
Meanwhile, Venezuela fighter jets flew over U.S. Navy ship in show of force. This is a CBS story. 2 armed Venezuelan F-16 jets, which I think Americans sold it to them, right?
That is old technology that we sell to people like Venezuela to protect themselves.
Yeah,
Yes.
flew over the USS Jason Dunham and Aegis guided missile destroyer on Thursday in a show of force. Okay. As confirmed by multiple Defense Department officials, with the Pentagon stating on X, this highly provocative move was designed to interfere with our counter-narco-terror operation. The cartel running Venezuela strongly advised not to pursue any further effort to obstruct, deter, or interfere with counter-narcotics and counter-terror operations carried out by the U.S. military. The flyover occurred in the international waters in the Southern Caribbean, part of U.S. naval flotilla deployed to target criminal organizations and narco-terrorism. Through CBS News could not confirm any specifics. Response from the USS Jason Dunham. So, Tom, your thoughts on this here?
First of all, if anybody understands what the 3 Aegis-class destroyers that are out there, they had those aircraft on radar from 100 miles away or more. And those guys were almost certainly on direct radar lock as they flew over, and they knew it. And with a simple message back to Maduro, the only reason those guys aren't in the water is because we didn't bother to. And your little show of force here, we could have splashed both of those things before you even had a chance to finish your morning coffee. And so this show of force this is not a show of force. It is a political photo op that Venezuela is trying to do for the rest of the world. But if we thought that there was any threat to those guys, they would have been downed from 50 miles away. So to me, this is really odd. And the Department of Defense is showing some restraint here. Yeah, those 2 aircraft here, I really wouldn't do that again. So we're basically saying, I told you once. That's it. And that's what we're saying here. I told you once. You want to do this again? You know what? This could be really bad. Because there's a reason that we sent those. And by the way, Vinny, do you think those destroyers are alone?
Hell no.
Or do they have little brothers below the water?
They have a lot of little big
Little
big brothers with a lot of capability.
And they have also got high altitude aircraft that's got
You'll
a
never
radar
see it.
blanket over the whole place.
Yeah.
They've got everything they need. And so these destroyers are not out there vulnerable.
Yeah.
So this wasn't a show of force. It was a show of stupidity.
Yeah.
And then the Defense Department, they're lucky that we just didn't do it, Pat. And because the other thing would have been a little blue box from the Department of Defense. Dear Maduro, what the hell were you thinking? Period. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
You know, I'm shocked PETA hasn't said anything because they blew up that boat with the water with the cocaine and you know how many sharks are probably just coked out of their mind? Remember Cocaine Bear? You know how many sharks are like, oh my God, am I a freaking dolphin? Am I a dolphin? Like they're losing their minds right now, and I'm shocked PETA
Staying up all night, swimming oddly.
talking like their friends' ears off.
Scratching their cheeks really fast. Yeah, those
Tom,
poor
you know
sharks.
a lot about how sharks are acting. Interesting.
That's cocaine talk. But go ahead. Adam.
Okay, gotcha. Well, everyone knows Maduro's a bad dude. I also have major issues based on what's going on here. Anytime the CIA try to get involved in regime change, that always ends ugly most of the time. By the way, how did our war on drugs work out in the history of America.
We lost.
It's been a massive failure.
The drugs won.
Yeah, I mean, it filled the prisons with millions of black and brown dudes. I used to listen to the song, I Got 5 on It. I was like, damn, this is the jam. They're like, yeah, it means like a nickel bag of weed.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
and when you say we filled the prisons,
not a big deal.
remember Kamala Harris on 3 Strikes Law in California?
It's actually a very good song by Loonies, but
it's an incredible song by Loonies.
Yeah.
I always wanted to have 5 on it until I realized that it was a nickel bag. And then I realized you can go to jail for a nickel bag. What? So that's what happened there. So
Adam,
the government wasted, Tom, people are talking. The government wasted billions of dollars on fighting the drug war in Latin America. That did nothing. Meanwhile, Big Pharma here in America, we just talked about it, made billions, if not trillions, and we got thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people hooked on opioids here in America. So there's a massive opioid epidemic that we need to deal with. I just don't know if this show of force is actually going to benefit us in the end, because anything we've done in the war on drugs has backfired.
Well, let's see. Let's see what's going to happen here. I can tell you one of the 20 things he did talk about was fentanyl. And if you want to focus on something like Epstein and that's all you care about, he's trying to focus on his 20 issues.
That's true.
That's what he's trying to do.
It's true.
So don't get distracted here with the games that you play sometimes that gets out of control.
Listen, you just
So let me get back to this next story.
like the Loonies reference.
I love the Loonies
That's
reference.
right. I know you would,
by the way, and I like the
Kill me
remix
now.
version of that song.
Tom,
like
I will
the
give you
remix.
$1,000 right now if you can sing the I Got 5 on It song by the Loonies. $1,000 right now.
Just sing the chorus, Tom.
That's all you have to get.
Just the chorus.
How does I Got
Show
5
you're
on
cool.
It go?
I don't know.
I don't know about it. My name is the Biz Doc. I don't know about it.
All right, so let me show you this.
Creep on in, on in, on in.
Let's go to this
Tom,
one.
you don't
here.
have
Folks,
any money
if
on
you
it,
live
bro.
in Dearborn Heights, here's what's going on in Dearborn Heights, and you know about it. Dearborn Heights, this is the official police badge in Dearborn Heights.
It's over.
Okay, just to make sure everybody knows. Dearborn Heights is the first in U.S. with Arabic on their police patch. Okay, so let's go through this here. The Dearborn Heights Police Department introduced the nation's first police patch featuring both English and Arabic script, designed by Officer Emily Murdoch to reflect the city's diverse community, and the patch displaying the Michigan seal in the center and the words of Dearborn Heights Police written in both languages. The department, led by Police Chief Ahmed Haidar, confirmed on Wednesday that the optional patch can be worn as part of officers' uniforms, aiming to honor the 39% of Dearborn Heights residents of Middle Eastern and North African descent as of 2023, with neighboring Dearborn having a 55% population of similar background. The department praised the initiative, stating on Facebook, "We are proud of Officer Murdoch's creativity and dedication in helping our department better represent the people we serve. Our officers proudly serve all members of our community, and this new design is another way we can continue to celebrate the rich cultures that make our city unique." Vinny, your thoughts on this?
Listen, you could call me a racist, you could call me xenophobic, whatever the hell you want to call me. I don't care. This is a no-go. I don't give a damn if it's Arabic, Hebrew, Farsi. I'm a Syrian. It doesn't matter. The second you put on foreign language on a local law enforcement uniform, you cross the line. And anybody, there's nothing that you could say that's going to change my mind, okay? We made where do we live? We're in the United States of America. No, I don't like any other. This is our freaking country, and I don't call me whatever the hell you want. And again, Adam, we're talking about the New York thing. We let one, then this is going to happen here, and it's not going to stop. I'm anti this through and through. Period.
Adam.
Well,
I'm done.
I just got back from Detroit. I was actually in Dearborn because when you fly into Detroit Airport, you have to go through Dearborn, and I actually went out of my way.
You're more comfortable flying into Dearborn Heights than Russia?
I will sit down with anybody. Okay, you want to know what?
It has come to
what are you talking about right now? He's right.
Are you ready? You ready?
Russia.
I walked into the airport. I sit my mom down. This was my first experience as soon as I got to the airport. Play it with volume, please.
What's up, guys? Here in Detroit, and just want to bring you into speed on what's going on here.
You're so funny.
In Detroit, I want to be very clear that I'm in Detroit, and I'm in an airport, and these are my people sitting near me in America.
Damn, man, you're getting close.
So I'm in there.
They might know. They might recognize you.
Let me just make sure.
So, by the way, I have multiple videos of this. practice whatever religion you want, do whatever you want in America, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. We're done with the face covering thing. There's people in Detroit covered up as if they're going to Mecca today. This is a little aggressive to me. So this is just a little example here of now the police, what is this? The shield is in Arabic. I'm okay with it. There's no face coverings in America.
Well, you're okay with the shield thing, but you're not.
I'm just saying there needs to be a line drawn here. I don't know about the shield. I see different languages, different cities.
Not in America.
Okay,
Adam, they're going to get upset at you.
But the fact that you could just operate how you're operating in Saudi Arabia in Detroit is problematic to me.
But I mean, does it bother you that they're wearing other races, Jewish people wearing yarmulkes? You don't get mad at them for wearing a yarmulke.
That's not covering your face.
Well, that's their religion. I don't think that's bad. I think that is messed up.
To me,
that's cultural.
As long as you show your face, we're okay.
I'm the other way.
You know they say no face, no case.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Adam,
COVID,
is it because like if you're trying to flirt, you want to know what they look like?
That's a whole different situation.
I'm just saying whether it's a mask
but if
or
that's
COVID,
what you're saying, maybe there's a but to me. I don't have a problem, but that's how they dress because that's their religious way of dressing.
Not in America, buddy.
I got a problem with this here, guy. That's what I got a problem with. I got a problem with that. Okay.
Yep.
That's what bothers me the most. Let me go to Tim Kaine, former VP candidate for Hillary Clinton, sparks backlash after calling Declaration of Independence God-given rights extremely troubling. Rob, do you have this clip by any chance? So. He faced widespread criticism after stating during a Wednesday Senate Foreign Relations Committee hearing, and this is what he had to say. Go ahead.
The notion that rights don't come from laws and don't come from the government, but come from the creator, that's what the Iranian government believes. It's a theocratic regime that bases its rule on Shia law and targets Sunnis, Baha'is, Jews, Christians, and other religious minorities. And they do it because they believe that they understand what natural rights are from their creator. So the statement that our rights do not come from our laws or our governments is extremely troubling.
Baby.
Oh my. Okay, so what? Okay. And I know we touched on it a little bit early in the week, but this is, to me, like what the Democratic Party has become. He said the idea that rights come from the creator are not the government. He said it's extremely troubling, and he compared it to Iran. Like, that's not a slip of the tongue, bro. That's exposing the mindset of the party that hates what this country was built on. So our founders, and I want to prove to you how absolutely wrong he is, Tom, because you said it before we started. It's crystal clear in the Declaration of Independence. And I quote, all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. Okay, right? Not from the government, not by politicians like Tim Kaine, okay, by God. All right, and if the government gives you your rights, guess what they could do, Tom? They can take them away. All right, and that's how dictatorship like Mao's China operates. Okay, and look what the party stands for. And I was on Pierce Pan. I was going against James Carville. And what's his Harry Sisson. I go, what did your party stand for? I go, if you guys have all these problems, I go, you're pushing a gender ideology. You guys mutilate children with surgeries and hormones. Yep. That's your party. Open borders that let chaos pour in, which more sex trafficking happens. You put American families in danger. You guys want to defund the police. You celebrate abortion. You weaponize the Department of Justice and the FBI to destroy people in your way. What else? What do you stand for?
Yeah, but Vinny, other than that.
Yeah, and Tom, I love you for putting...
you sound very angry about this.
Adam, it just drives me...
It's almost like you're an angry patriot.
No, but it just drives me crazy because you have people like this saying complete lies, okay? And then you're showing your true colors. You're not even hiding it. You're saying it didn't come from God. Really? Then who should I believe? Should I believe you, Tim Kaine, who has absolutely no lips? I have small lips. Tim Kaine doesn't have any lips. So when you have him saying that they don't come from God, but it comes from government, he's saying he's saying the quiet part out loud, which I'm actually proud. Good. Show your colors. Show who you are. Okay. He's telling you straight up that that in their America and his America and this Democrat guy's America, all right, politicians play God. Period. This really, really pissed me off when I heard him say it, that it doesn't come from God. Do you agree, Tom?
So, well, it's right there in the Constitution, inalienable rights granted by our Creator. And that's what led to the Bill of Rights. And that's what it's based on. And so for him to say that is incorrect. Now, is is he just being really clumsy in this particular hearing and saying, no, your rights don't come from race, your rights come right here, that we make the laws in the Constitution? Well, then I could get that, but that's not what he said, and it was a very cumbersome argument. And I'm with Vinny. It's like, dude, what are you saying?
Well, you know, you wait for a moment for them to try to invite and welcome another community into their base, and I don't know how many times they keep fumbling this. Time after time after time again, they keep fumbling this. And keep in mind, he was about to be your vice president, America.
Yep.
He was this close. If James Comey doesn't release what he released, Hillary Clinton's your president. And by the way, Trump may never be the president.
That's right.
Trump may never. Hillary would have been a two-termer, and today he could have been your president. As the VP becoming like a Joe Biden type of thing.
She wasn't perfectly healthy. If she was president, we were a stroke away from this guy being president.
Yeah, that would have been troubling. Adam, your thoughts?
Well, let's just say this. America is a Christian country. And those of us that are Jews, that are Muslims, that are Buddhists, that are Hindu, we're all just guests. And let's respect the fact that America is a Christian country. Now, it might not say that explicitly in the Constitution, but we all kind of know this was founded based on Judeo-Christian values by Christian people that are being persecuted and came to America, whether it was the Pilgrims or whether it was our forefathers that started this country. And I'm Jewish, and I'm saying this. I also want to say that this is an English-speaking country, even though English is not, quote-unquote, the law of the land. We all know that this is an English-speaking country. So some things are assumed, some things are applied, some things are God-given. I get it. There's a constant tug of war between separation of church and state. Should it be secular? Should it be more theocratic? Should the 10 Commandments be in school? But let's just understand, this is a Christian country, and don't upset the Christians. Now, my other response is, can the Christians get a little bit of a backbone? Because the Muslims have it, the Jews have it. Christians are a little too tolerant, in my opinion. So stop being so soft, Christians, and speak up.
What's your language, Reggie?
This
thing almost came.
Sorry, guys.
This thing was like naturally. Like it was about to go like this.
Just saying, I'm rooting for you guys.
You're going to get 5 on it.
I'm rooting for you guys.
You said
I'm trying to give you guys credit.
Your face is about to have 5 on it.
It's coming very soon. All right, all right. Let's get to the end of the podcast, guys. 2 shout-outs I got to give. Okay. 1, I got to give a shout-out to the greatest pastor in the world. I've heard so many people preach over the years. No one has come close to this man. He's a special man. He's been going through some challenges the last 2 years. Family, a brother, and he's holding it together. The one and only Dudley Rutherford. If you can share this with him, I hope he sees it. Dudley, just so you know, you are loved by me. You are loved by our kids. Our kids, when we ask them, can we go to church or watch Dudley? Unanimous, would rather watch Dudley. We're on the Colossians part 3. You had another pastor preach this past Sunday. They want to watch the whole 18 episode that you guys want to go through. The kids are committed. The family's committed. You need to know you are loved by people around the world, and your name is always coming up. Cannot tell you how many people love you. If you feel that way, send a man a message. If you know who he is, give the man some love. Number 2, this one I'm not comfortable about, and I want you guys to not watch this part.
No.
If you guys want to get off the podcast now and just go do something else, please go. Don't watch this next part. I'd much rather only be 0 viewers while I'm saying this so nobody sees this last part of it. Respectfully, please get off the podcast. This past Monday, we had friends over at our house, about 100 of them, and it was amazing. Kids are swimming in the pool. We're eating good food, all this other stuff, having fun, joking, all fights taking place outside with kids. We'll keep that anonymous. But we decided, me, Tikrin, and a couple of us, to play dominoes. And we have one of our friends, Lewis, who's a good domino player, but he's not a great domino player. Like, he can play and have fun with you. That's what
like
Lewis
a
is.
6-man.
I think he was good in maybe geometry, not more math analysis. But then we played with this one lady who comes. Well, later on, we found out her grandfather did time 40 years ago, was a professional domino player, allegedly. I want to put that allegedly, from Venezuela. And then while we're playing, she beats us the first time. And I sat there and said, she just got lucky. There's no way in the world this is legit or real. This is just fake. I said, let's go one more time. And then after the second time, when she beat us, and I tell you beat us, she beat us in a way that she was counting everybody's chips. And we know how to play this game.
Oh, wow, really?
Counting Tikrin's chips.
Oh, snap.
2 games. She dominated everybody. And I got to give Karina Machado a shout out. And then later on, her husband said she went to the top university in Venezuela, El Católica Venezuela, if I'm saying it correctly. And guess what? She is the only person in the history of that school to get 100 on her calculus in the university. Wow. Vinny showed up, and I told her, if they ever fire you, you got a job here with us. So I told you I'm going to keep my promise, and I'm doing it here, folks. Please don't share this with anybody, especially if you know her. Don't even send it her way. I just said I'm going to do it, and I want to make sure I do it. Everybody that was there, you know who you are. We're going to have a rematch. Hey, wherever you are, you're watching this, we're going to have a rematch.
Let's go.
I've been taking some calculus late-night classes, studying math analysis. Anyways, gang, much love to everybody. We're going to be gone. You're not going to get a podcast on Monday. You're not going to get a podcast from us on Wednesday, meaning a live home team podcast. I believe on Monday, we have Monday's going to be sick. Our trip to Italy, we're going to be announcing a new partner of ours, a collaboration that we've been working on for a while. They'll be coming out an interview of the #1 clothing brand that billionaires were, according to New York Times, 0.001% of the world that wears. You're going to see an entire spectacle of what it was when we went to Italy. And then we have on 9/11, you will have Robert O'Neill, who is the man who killed Osama bin Laden. We'll be doing a podcast with him on 9/11. And then there's going to be another one of whistleblower in 2000 when he called that SSRIs. And he'll be coming out, I think, on Tuesday or Wednesday. And by the way, Robert O'Neill, if you guys wanted to Connect him, he's officially on Connect. You can actually Connect Robert O'Neill on Connect as well. That'll be next week. And then we will do a home team podcast Friday out of Orlando. So you're not going to get any of this stuff between now and next Friday. Those of you guys that are coming to the vault, I can't wait to see you. For some of you guys who don't have the gear yet, while you're going to the vault, go to the vtmerch.com, get your gear, get the Future Looks Bright, come in with your polos, come in with your dress shirts. You still have a chance to get it. There's going to be a lot of surprises at the vault. Cannot wait to see you all there. Take care. God bless everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.